Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you from the Tri-Cities Coliseum. Tonight, the Tri-City Americans and the Portland Winterhawks. The Winterhawks have owned the Americans in their previous meetings so far. In 6 meetings, it's 5-0-1 for the Portland Winterhawks. Some of those, most of those, have been good, close, tight games. It'll be interesting to see how they fare tonight. Portland without the other half of their big scoring pair. Troy Mick is unable to make the trip because of an injured knee. That leaves Dennis Holland with other teammates, certainly. Also out of the lineup for Portland tonight, Greg Leahy. Most of the Americans healthy and ready to go. In goal tonight, Olaf Kolzig making his first goalie appearance since he was re-injured in that game against Victoria about 2 weeks ago. He has a new knee brace and should be ready to play. We'll be back with the face-off and the starting lineups in 1 minute on this Cable 15 broadcast. Tonight's game as our Tri-Cities Americans hockey broadcast continues. Well, we did.
At right wing, it's number 20, Wayne Anstokowski. On defense, it's number 24, Joey Middlestead. Left wing, it's number 27, Sean Fuston. And in goal for the Winterhawks, number 34, Byron Defoe. Now the starting lineup for your Tri-City Americans!
Test.
On defense tonight, it's number 3, Kelly Cutterick. At right wing, it's number 8, Rick Fry. Also on defense, number 11, Terry Duval. The starting center tonight is number 14, Stu Barnes. At left wing, it's number 18, Sean Lebrun. And in goal tonight for your Tri-City Americans, it's number 33, Oli Kolzig. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand for the American national anthem tonight, sung by Monty Ingersoll and Mel Hall.
All right. You'll come back on the anthem?
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Monty Ingersoll and Mel Howe. Here's a correction on your American starting lineup. At right wing, it's number 25, Troy Kennedy.
Well, had a correction in the starting lineup already. John Olver a bit uncertain as he was ready to get started, as he was ready to announce the lineups for tonight's game. And finding himself with a decision to make, he changed from Rick Fry to Troy Kennedy. We have a guest announcer with us tonight. He is Jad Meyer. Jad, good to have you with us.
Thank you, Kirk. It's a pleasure to be here.
Should be an interesting game tonight. The Winterhawks and the Tri-City Americans, everything moving a little faster than normal here at Tri-Cities Coliseum. We're ready to get things underway. It will be Scott Mighton for Portland. Mighton with Anchikowski and Clouston. Face-off won by Barnes. Barnes with Kennedy and Lebrun as it's shot down into neutral ice. On the left side, Barnes bringing it in from the left side. Barnes takes it in. Stripped away by the Portland goalie, number 34, Defoe. And Byron Defoe comes up with the first big save of the game.
And that's exactly what the Americans need to do to get things started. They need to take it right to the Portland Winterhawks. Remember, these two teams have played now 6 times. They know each other very well. In the last 3 games, they've gone to overtime. And the Americans have taken leads into the third period by 3 goals and ended up losing.
Defoe against Olaf Kolzig tonight are the goalies. Barnes against Clouston. Face-off won by Portland. Mighton backhands it into the slot loose. Shot right of the net to Kennedy. Kennedy tried to sweep it in, couldn't. And the Americans get one. And they got it. That's a goal. Lebrun got it. John Lebrun able to sweep it in from the right side of the net.
And that bounced all over the place, Kirk. That puck was...
No, they're gonna call it off. They're gonna call the goal down. And Lebrun over there to argue with the referee tonight. And we'll get the official explanation from Tom Lathan, the public address announcer, momentarily. I'm not sure what would cause them to wash the goal out, Tony, but it looks like that's just what they've done.
They may have been using a
there was
glove.
no goal. The referee ruled that the puck did not go into the net. No goal.
Well, there you have it. It didn't cross that little red line down there, and it has to cross it in order for it to count as a goal.
Face-off to the left-hand side of goalie Defoe. Won by Barnes. Shot across. Barnes gets upended. Portland with the puck. They dump it back to neutral ice. Duval there for the Americans. Portland goes back for it. Winterhawks have it along the right wing boards. Mighton has it knocked off his stick by Kennedy. Now Mighton starts in on Olaf Kolzig. Taken away from him by Kennedy. Troy Kennedy takes the big hit at the blue line. Duval headmans for Barnes. Shot into the Portland zone. Puck fed out off the left board.
Great check.
Big check by Kutowicz as Mighton takes the puck. Mighton gets it to Clouston. Clouston a drive, and it's blocked right of the net by Kolzig. Clouston tries to center. He does right up front. A shot. Kolzig with the big save one more time off the stick of Terry Black. Now the Americans shoot at the length of the ice. Barnes will take it off the boards. Barnes pulls up short. Evades a hit by Clouston. Gets around his man. Now Lebrun puts a big hit on Mighton as they go down in the corner. Left of the net. Puck brought back out by Delcourt. Shoots it up to Krause. Krause losing it. Big foot race for the puck as they race into the Tri-City zone. Krause checking his man Gourley off of it. Krause gets the puck back. Shift change for both teams. Spenrath on the ice. Takes Jorgensen to the boards hard. Jorgensen shoots and Kolzig will slap it away.
Boy, a lot of
the Americans. Woo.
Boy, it is fast and furious right to begin with here. And the Tri-City Americans are coming off of 2 really heartbreaking losses, and this is a very important game to them mentally. They need to get this one to the division-leading Winterhawks. They are in, currently, the Tri-City Americans are in last place, just 2 points behind. And we have a little promotion working at the station, Tri-Cities Radio and Drake's Department Store. Encourage you to bring your radio to Tri-City American hockey games. Today, KOTY's Paul Drake gave an AM radio to Dave Dollar of Richland, and a cassette player and a pair of Tri-City American tickets. Congratulations, Dave.
Face-off will be just outside the blue line, the Tri-Cities blue line. And it will be Malone on the face-off. He loses it to Portland, shoots it in along the boards. Shot back towards Spenrath into neutral ice. We have a whistle. A line violation against the Americans and offside against Tri-City will bring the puck back out to just outside the Americans' blue line. Olaf Kolzig in goal tonight for the Americans. 6'3", 210-pounder out of Victoria. Face-off will have Frank Malone. The line is Malone, Spenrath, and Delcourt. And a shot taken from way out front, blocked by Kolzig. Leaves it behind the net for Kraus. That one came out of neutral ice. Now Kraus tried to shoot it to Spenrath. Spenner can't get loose from his man. Puck goes behind the net, and we'll have icing. Icing the call. No score of the hockey game. We'll be back in 30 seconds on this Tri-Cities Radio Americans hockey broadcast. Face-off won by the Americans, centered by Delcourt in the Portland zone. Winterhawks try to break up the play. It now gets to Frank Malone. Malone in the slot. A drive wide of the net left side. Comes back out along the boards. Chopped back to the blue line. Delcourt with it. No, hasn't stolen away. Here comes Gray Eyes in on Kolzig. Shoot! Kolzig blocks him. Olaf Kolzig. And now the Winterhawks charge the net. Kolzig goes down. And right there to protect him is Greg Spenrath. The Winterhawks opt to buy a penalty here.
You bet. As a matter of fact, Mark Gray Eyes right there on the breakaway. It was a beautiful breakaway. He was in all by himself on Oli, the goalie. Took a shot, rebounded right back out to Gray Eyes. Gray Eyes tried to put it right in the 5-hole. And Oli right there with his big body to cover up the puck. Face-off to the left-hand side of Olaf Kolzig.
Kolzig wearing his new pads. He just got some new pads. Well, about the time he got injured, and trainer and goalie coach Jim Craig has been breaking him in for it. Face-off will have Rick Fry against Jorgensen. Now Fry chased out, and in comes Rennie. The Roondog wins it. It comes out to the point right. Shot by Mitchell in wide of the net left. Puck taken out of there by the Americans. Here comes Tri-Cities. Headman pass to Calvin Nibbs. Nibbs losing it just short of the Portland zone. Dump back into the Tri-Cities zone, and back for it is Kutowitz. Cutter behind his own net. Plays it out right side to Rennie. Rennie off the boards. Neat move to evade his man. But it's broken up by the Winterhawks. Clouston now shot back into the, well, shot into the crowd. Off the stick of Roy Mitchell.
The Portland Winterhawks are very, very hot right now. They bring a 5-game unbeaten streak into Tri-Cities Coliseum. Currently, they are 4-0-1, and in their last 10 games, they've only lost twice. They're 6-2-2.
Well, Chad, this game's gotten off to a pretty wild start here.
Sure has, Kirk.
Kutowitz, left side, on the face-off. Kutowitz with it, across the blue line into the Portland zone. Puck goes around behind the net. They'll chase it off the right wing boards. Nibbs getting it. Nibbs dumping it into the corner. Rennie goes after it with Meiden. Rennie tried to center it for the Americans. Couldn't get it loose. They get it there. Nibbs a shot. Blocked by Defoe. Back out into the slot. The Americans can't get a stick down to it. Here come the Winterhawks. Breakaway by Fleetwood. Fleetwood races into the right side. Shoots. And Kolzig knocks it away. Puck goes in wide of the net. Here comes Fry for the Tri-City Americans. Fry to Rennie. Rennie across the blue line left. Rennie with it. Pulls up short. Goes to the boards. Now the puck shot back into neutral ice as Lebrun evades a big hit. Shot in from neutral ice. And Kolzig blocks it. Lebrun with it. Tried to get it ahead now to Barnes. Goes into the Portland zone. Barnes and Kennedy racing after it. Barnes, a big hit there on Biafour. Down in the right corner. Barnes and Biafour. Face off to the puck to the right side. Barnes wraps around the net. Barnes with it. Shoots it back out to Kraus. Blocked there by Terry Black. Black feeds it left side, and we have a whistle.
We're going to have a penalty in both. Looks like a penalty to both teams. Number 14, Stu Barnes, and number 21, Kevin Jorgensen.
And away from the play, another big scramble down on the left side of the Tri-Cities net. We may have more people off the ice than on it when we're done here.
Yeah, I think you're right there too, Kirk.
Well, let's see. Barnes and Jorgensen.
Yeah. And it looks like Dennis Holland is trying to figure out and doing a little bit of... Oh, and it looks like Dennis Holland's going to go sit down for a couple minutes.
Well, all the penalties will come at the 4:09 mark.
That gives the Tri-City Americans a power play advantage. First one of the evening.
Well, let's wait and see if we can get the announcement from Tom Lathan as referee Wheeler over to make the announcement to the off-ice officials. And then they'll let us know. Ken Wheeler, the referee tonight.
Here are your penalties. First, for the Portland Winterhawks, it's number 21, Kevin Jorgensen, 2 minutes for roughing. And number 15, Dennis Holland, 2 minutes for slashing. For the Tri-City Americans, it's number 14, Stu Barnes, 2 minutes for roughing. The time of those penalties, 4:09.
And basically what that means is that Barnes and Jorgensen get a rest, and the Americans get a power play. Power play number 1 for the Tri-City Americans. Face-off won by the Winterhawks, though, and they dump it back into the Tri-City zone. Kolzig will leave it behind the net for Lebrun. Blue liners, Lebrun and Jakes. On the front line for the Americans, Fenrath with Kennedy and Malone. Shot in left of the net. Kennedy races in after it, but Defoe there. Plays it out to the left board. Stopped by Lebrun at the blue line. And it's offside. The puck just getting across the blue line.
The Tri-City Americans so far in the last 3 games against the Portland Winterhawks have scored 7 power play goals. So power plays seem to be working pretty well for the Americans. They're also currently on a 15-game power play scoring streak.
Chad Meyer, our guest color commentator tonight. Chad, this game has gotten off to a real roaring start.
That's right. Hopefully the Americans can come out of here with a victory and give them enough incentive to propel them to a couple more wins.
Big shot by Lebrun from the left point. Puck goes left of the net. Saved by Defoe. Comes back out right now to Jake. Sweeps it over to Lebrun, but it'll go into neutral ice. And Portland's Clouston steals it away. Clouston right side. Lebrun's going to have to work on him. Now the puck shot out of play by Jake. Jake getting it right back. Here come the Americans. 3-on-2. Jake's up the left side. Crosses into the blue, across the blue line. And I believe we got a whistle offside.
So far, shots on goal in this first period. Portland has 7, and the Tri-City Americans have 4. A lot of freestyle hockey going on. Great for the fans. Good crowd tonight, too, Kurt.
Yeah, it looks like maybe very close to a sellout.
I'd imagine so. This weekend series here tonight, Portland. Tomorrow night, the Seattle Thunderbirds come in to invade the unfriendly confines of the Tri-City Coliseum.
Chad, have you seen hockey before? Have you been here to the game before?
Yeah, I have. I've been to most every home game this season.
So you're becoming a real Americans home game veteran, huh?
That's right.
Face-off won by the Americans, dumped into the Portland zone, right of the net. Taken off the stick of Rennie by Delcourt. Delly comes back up in the left point to Lebrun. Lebrun swings right, shoots it down low now to Rennie. In the slot to Nibbs. Puck knocked loose. Lebrun with it. Lebrun fires the pass across to Nibbs. Nibbs into Delcourt. He fires, and Defoe comes up big. Puck shot back out to the blue line. Jakes plays it down to Nibbs. Calvin Nibbs, his pass knocked away. Loose puck goes into the corner, but Rennie there for the Americans. Shot around to the left boards now as Delcourt has it. Delcourt taking a big hit there from Gorley. Puck shot out to the blue line. Lebrun. Here comes Brunner. Run to the left side. Lebrun taking it in. Centers. And Rennie couldn't get to it. Goes out to Nibbs' right side. Nibbs out on the right board. Shoots. And Rennie tries to get the rebound. He can't do it. Power play almost over as Delcourt comes out along the blue line. Out to the blue line. Rennie with it now. Backhand to Delcourt. A drive. It goes all the way around wide of the net to the right side. Jake's shot. Blocked by Defoe. Puck goes in behind the net. Rennie in after it. Rennie with it. Portland trying to break it up. Puck's loose. They'll scramble for it along the right boards. Delcourt with it. Delcourt turns. Backhand pass underneath to Rennie. Rennie losing the puck behind the net to Biafour. Biafour, headman pass to Holland. Holland in a hurry up the left board. Steps in. Holland tried to center it, but Delcourt's there to slap it out of trouble for the Americans. They try to get to Robertson. Can't do it. Out to Fleetwood. Fleetwood across the blue line, but he leaves it for Robertson. Back into neutral ice they go. Racing back for it is Roy Mitchell for Portland. Mitchell for the Winterhawks in the Portland zone. Headman pass goes to Fleetwood, but it's a two-line headman pass, and that will bring it back for the face-off.
You know, Dennis Holland right now, number 15 for the Portland Winterhawks, is on a bit of a tear, as he usually is. Dennis Holland currently right now on a 4-game point scoring streak, has 8 goals and 6 assists, and the young man is just tearing them up. Matter of fact, Kirk, this is the guy that just single-handedly tears up the Americans, has 4 hat tricks this season against the Americans.
Robertson on the face-off. Now Dirksen and Fleetwood trade slashes. And on the face-off, a shot by Duval. Blocked, but Fry there. Right in front of the net, they shoot, can't get it to go. And here comes Clouston for the Winterhawks. Clouston bringing it ahead, 2-on-3. Clouston goes to the left of the net, tried to center it for Fleetwood. Drop back, a shot from the point right by Middlestat. Goes out to the wide of the net to the right point. Now shot down underneath, low from Meiden. He tried to center it, and Kolzig blocks the pass. Kolzig did what he had to do there and played the pass to stop the play. No score in the hockey game. 12:36 to go in the first period. Kirk Williamson along with Tony Ott and Jad Meyer at Tri-Cities Coliseum. I think we may have 6,000 tonight, Tony.
I think you're pretty close there, Kirk. I'm going to say 5,850.
Chad, you want to share a guess with us?
My guess is 6,003.
Oh, there you go. 6,003, okay. My luck, Tony, hit it right on the button. Face off, won by the Americans, right of the net. Let's see if Friday the 13th will work for the Americans. Puck shot the length of the ice. Kennedy racing after it. He'll touch it first for a two-line pass, and they'll bring it out into neutral ice.
You know, Kirk, one of the things that was concerning a lot of the people, especially Tri-City fans, and I'm sure in the mind of John Olver, is what kind of momentum does the Americans have coming into tonight's game? They're on a 2-game losing streak currently. They've lost 5 of their last 7. They haven't been playing great hockey, but they've been playing consistent hockey in some spurts. They've got to play a full 60 minutes against this division-leading Portland Winterhawks team tonight.
Yeah, they do. Face off just inside the Tri-Cities blue line off the right-hand side of Kolzig. It'll be Hamish Black against Barnes. Barnes winning the draw. Draws it back to Jakes. He goes left now to Scherstenka. Dan Scherstenka bringing it up for the Americans. Dumps it in left to the Portland net. Puck rolls around behind the net. Left there by Defoe for Flintoff. As Portland trying to work it back and forth behind the net. They get it out to the blue line. Into neutral ice, and Lebrun there to dump it back in for the Americans. Kennedy's there. Kennedy chops it in behind the net for Barnes. Barnes and Flintoff scramble for it. The Americans right in front. Scores! Scores! And the Americans drawing first blood.
And I believe that was an assist from Steve Jakes behind the net.
Yeah, I think it was too. Although, was that Jakes or Barnes down there?
I believe both of them are going to get assists on it.
That was a pretty goal.
It sure was, right up and over the top of the net.
Shot it right out to Kennedy, standing about 5 feet straight away in the slot. And he put it in the elevator, pushed the up button, and...
Welcome one of the newest Tri-City Americans to town. Tri-City American first goal, scored by number 25, Troy Kennedy. The assist from number 18, Sean Lebrun, and number 14, Stu Barnes.
Lebrun and Barnes getting the assist. And as the puck starts to come out of the Portland zone, we have a whistle. 1-0. Tri-Cities leading the Portland Winterhawks. And the faceoff will come in neutral ice. Right between the center line and the Portland blue line.
And it's good to see Frank Malone back in. He's missed several games. The last time he was in uniform was against these same Winterhawks on the 30th of December with a knee injury that he fell out in the first part of the first period.
Malone against Holland. Holland winning the draw. Portland brings it up. Knocked away by the Americans. Tri-Cities getting it back. Here comes Kutowicz. Up the boards, left of the net. Shoots it all the way in around behind the net. Right there is Delcourt to kick it down off the dasher board. Malone with it behind the net. Centers it up front for Kutowicz. Turnaround shot. Blocked by Defoe, and we have a whistle. It'll go against the Winterhawks. It'll go against number 11, and now Holland is smashed out front by Rob Krause. Krause gets slashed by Jorgensen well after the whistle. Jorgensen wants a chunk of Krause. Krause is being escorted away. I think Krause and Jorgensen are going to go, and Viafor, I think.
Yeah, I believe you're right there, Kirk. Jorgensen and Krause having a few extra words about each other and in the penalty box there.
Jorgensen in to protect Holland as Holland was smacked by Krause out at the blue line. But there was another penalty, and I thought that would have been an interference against Viafor. But let's wait and see what the Now the linesman over talking to the referee.
And I think they're just going to go ahead and keep both those guys in the penalty box. And I think I thought that's what it was.
Stand by.
It's number 21, Kevin Jorgensen, 2 minutes for tripping. For your Tri-City Americans, it's number 2, Rob Kraus, 2 minutes for slashing. Time of those penalties, 8:43.
Okay. They happened almost identically, almost at the same time, and Jorgensen apparently tripped Malone. Face-off, Duval, a shot blocked up front by Flintoff. Goes to the right side of the net. Duval with it. Duval shoots it down low, but Flintoff there to break it up. It's knocked away by Rennie off his skates. Flintoff behind his own net. Feeds it out right side. Here come the Winterhawks. Headman pass to Thudium, broken up there by Kutowitz. Thudium drops it back, but it's taken by the Americans. Now stolen by Gorley. Gorley shot blocked by Kolzig. Portland using the long-range artillery tonight as it's outside the Tri-Cities blue line. The Americans chase after it. Now a headman pass to Nibbs across the blue line. Nibbs has it kicked away. Fry gets a stick on it. Back to Fry, and he fires it in left of the goal. Back behind the net is Defoe. Shift change for the Americans. The defense pair for Tri-Cities, Kutowitz and Duval. Here comes Portland, a drive from the right side, and Duval there for the Americans. Duval, headman pass to Barnes. Barnes across the blue line left. Barnes with Kennedy. Tried to shoot it across to Kennedy. Gets his own rebound back. Barnes in the left corner. Barnes behind the back. Kennedy tried to get to it. Now Portland there to break it up. And Tchaikovsky in neutral ice to Clouston. He fires it in left of the Tri-Cities net. Kolzig leaves it behind the net for Duval. Duval has it knocked away from him by Meiden, and the Winterhawks have it. Up to Clouston at the right wing. Along the boards.
Well, we got a penalty coming up.
Penalty coming up. Maybe against Lebrun.
I believe it's going to be an elbowing call as well, Kirk.
It is against Sean Lebrun. Elbowing is the signal. And that will give Portland their first power play of the night. Comes at the 10-10 mark.
Portland's power play scores on a 29.9% clip, about 30%. That's one of the highest in the WHL.
Well, it's been kind of a scramble here in the early going, Tony.
It sure has. Very open, very free-for-all type of hockey. Great for the fans. This is what fans come to see.
9:50 to go in the period. 2 minutes for Lebrun, elbowing. Power play number 1 against the Winterhawks. Comes up front to Biafour. Feeds it right to Holland. Holland back to Biafour, top of the slot. Right, Holland in the circle. In the right circle. Down low they go. Try to get it underneath to Hamish Black, and he can't get it away. Chasing it back behind the net. Hamish Black tried to send it to Holland.
Great defense.
Broken up there by Spenrath. Spenrath brings it ahead. 3-on-3. Spenrath driving in left of the net. Laying it off the boards is Delcourt. Delcourt. His pass gloved there by Defoe. Defoe ahead to Terry Black. Across the blue line is Black. Right to Holland. Holland in the slot. Walks in on Kolzig. A shot, and it's blocked by Kolzig. Beautiful play as Holland raced in on Kolzig. Fired a pass left to Terry Black. And Olaf Kolzig building that brick wall right in front of the net.
I'll tell you what, Oli is looking very good. It's his first game back after that re-injured knee that he suffered up in Victoria. And Oli's coming out and answering to the call tonight. Looking very good and giving Frank Ferlin a chance to sit out, or excuse me, All-Star Frank Ferlin.
All-Star recent Jets signee Frank Ferlin.
Quite a month.
Face off to the right of the Tri-Cities net. Portland Winterhawks have it. They bring it up front to Hamish Black. Left now to Biafour, back to Black. Right side it goes. Tried to get it down to Terry Black. Underneath the Tri-Cities net. And Jake's there to steal it away. Boy, Holland is playing rough tonight, and the Americans ice it all the way down the length of the ice. Shot back out by Defoe to Terry Black at the blue line. Americans keep it in the Portland zone. Now the Winterhawks steal the puck loose. Hamish Black. James Hamish Black bringing it up across center ice. Chopped away by Tri-Cities and iced again. This time by Jake. And Defoe comes out to play it again for the Winterhawks. Right side to Holland. Holland goes left now to Fleetwood. And it's slapped away again, this time by Dirksen. Devin Dirksen playing at defense tonight. for the Americans. Dirksen and Kutowitz. Well, no, Dirksen and Fry, the forwards. Kutowitz and Kraus, the defense pair for the Americans, as the puck shot in left of the net all the way around the glass and goes into the crowd.
Well, Kirk, I believe that the Americans are quite a different team than what they played the flat-footed game against the Spokane Chiefs on Wednesday evening.
Yeah.
And I think the Tri-City fans make quite a difference. When they're at home, they seem to play a lot better, and especially against the Portland team. They have been in every game against Portland, except the very first couple of them, and they played Portland rough. And I'm sure Coach Ken Hodge is very much aware of that, especially here at Tri-Cities Coliseum.
8:03 to go. 13 seconds remaining in the Lebrun penalty. And it's a 1-0 game. Tri-Cities leading the Portland Winterhawks. Face-off won by the Americans. Grant Sandwith firing it into the... Well, actually, I guess it went into the crowd.
Yes, it
just
did.
over the corner of the glass there. Sandwith getting his first shift now. Grant Sandwith wearing number 7, 6'4", 215-pounder out of Stony Plain, Alberta. He played for the Hobima Hawks up until last Wednesday. Joined the team in Spokane. Barnes on the faceoff against Clouston. On the faceoff, a shot from the left point by Mitchell, blocked by Kolzig. Goes into the right corner. 1 second remaining in the penalty to Lebrun. Now Lebrun's out and into the play. Puck lost right to Lebrun by Maiden. Here come the Americans. 3-on-2. Wiping out is Barnes along the blue line. Puck loses the blue line. Now Barnes shooting it across the ice. Left to right. Moore with it. Feeds a pass across right to Mitchell. They get it into neutral ice. Comes up to Maiden. Maiden with it along the right wing board. Maiden losing it to the Tri-City Americans. Jakes with it. Feeds a pass left, but it'll be broken up by Biofor. Biofor shoots it back into the Portland zone. Right of the net, Mitchell. In around behind the Tri-Cities net. Now Jakes playing it out for Kennedy. Puck lost and shot back in by Portland. Right of the Portland net. Now Mitchell shooting it in right of the Tri-Cities net. Centered. Kolzig comes up big on a shot by Clouston. Centered again, and Portland can't get it to drop. Big scramble in front of the net. Clouston has Jakes down on the ice, and now Kolzig will freeze the puck.
That's a wise move by Olaf to go ahead and freeze the puck on the side of the net. He had Steve Jakes huddled down right in front of him after he was being pulled down by number 27, Sean Clouston. And Sean just didn't even let him up there, Kirk. He had Steve just laying right in front of Oli.
6:55 to go, first period. These two teams going at it just like they finished the last game, wild and woolly. And it will be Malone on the face-off against Gorley in the Tri-City zone. Face-off circle to the right of Kolzig as you look on from center ice. Puck is down. Face-off won by Portland. Up front it goes to Jorgensen. A drive, and Kolzig puts it up into the crowd. Big drive from the right point. Jorgensen blasting away, and Kolzig with the 6 save.
He sure is looking sharp out there early going here.
Yeah, he sure is.
He's been, I know that he wants to play very, very much.
It's been driving him nuts. Face-off to Kolzig's left. It will be Gorley against Malone. Gorley wins it, another shot. Blocked and deflected out front. Kolzig, last minute save with his skate. Now Spenrath plays it off the boards, knocked down by the Winterhawks. Mark Greyeyes chips it back into the Tri-City zone. Delcourt there to slap it away. Back into neutral ice it goes. And the Winterhawks have it across ice right. Thudium backhands one to Jorgensen. Feeds it left now to Biofor. Still in the neutral zone. Now dumped into the Tri-City zone. And Kutowitz there. Plays it off the boards right. Kutowitz goes into the boards hard with Gorley, but the Americans have the puck. Headman pass to Delcourt from Spenrath. Delcourt races in on Defoe. Puck kept alive by the Americans. Goes down to Spenrath, right of the net. And Portland shoots it back up along the boards. Kutowitz there to stop it. Kutowitz feeds it in left of the net. Now the Winterhawks come back up with it. Cross ice right to Thudium. Calvin Thudium shoots it in around right of the Tri-Cities net. Kolzig leaving it there for Kraus. Kraus fires a pass off the boards, blocked there by Moore in neutral ice, but Moore's pass knocked loose. Rennie drops his stick. Portland with the puck, right boards. Terry Black shoots it into neutral ice, goes left to Fleetwood. His shot stopped by Kolzig, and a whistle coming up. Roughing is the call. And I think it's going to go against Kelly Kutowitz. It is.
And the Tri-City fans' reaction to the call there. Kelly Kutowitz will be the post-game penalty box show guest. And he knows where the penalty box is, obviously, right now. He'll sit down for a couple minutes.
Here's Cutter out of Major, Saskatchewan.
Kelly Kutowitz, 2 minutes.
Little town about 150 miles west of Saskatoon. About 150 people in it, too. Face-off, back up to the blue line. Tri-City zone, shot, smothered out front. Rennie tries to get to it. Off his skates, chopped away by Jakes. Portland with it, right of the net now. In the face-off circle to the right. Jakes takes it around behind the net for the Americans. Rennie with it. Rennie firing it back into neutral ice, and it'll be gloved out of play by Mike Moore as the Winterhawks on their second power play. So far, both teams 0 for 1 on power play.
As far as the Portland Winterhawks power play is concerned, they have one of the finest power plays that I have ever seen. These guys pass that puck and work that play so well that it takes the defense completely out of the play, and they can catch you off guard. Good defense by the Americans right here is needed.
Face-off right of Olaf Kolzig to his right-hand side. Face-off won by Rennie. Jakes with it around behind the net. Comes up to the left point. Moore along the blue line right now to Mitchell. Mitchell fades down toward the top of the circle. Fires in a rebound.
And they scored.
Portland scores. They're going to give it to him. As the puck was shot off the boards, the rebound came right out in front of Kolzig. And the Winterhawks there to just bash at it and get it to go finally. They had about 3 times on that one.
That looks like Terry Black is going to be picking up his 23rd goal of the season, with assists from Roy Mitchell and also from Mike Moore.
Portland's first goal scored by number 9.
Well, Portland certainly had their defenseman in the play.
Number 6, Roy Mitchell, and number
Shot came from Mitchell at the right point, and then it was Moore and Mitchell, or Moore and Black rather, banging on it down low in front of Kolzig. So we're tied at 1, a power play goal by the Winterhawks. And the puck goes in behind the Tri-Cities net. Kolzig with it. Fed out by Krause to Duval. Neat pass to Barnes. Headman right to Kennedy. Here comes Kennedy, one-on-one. Kennedy centers for Barnes. A drive blocked by Defoe. Back out into the slot it goes. Here comes Plustin. Plustin across center ice and fires it up into the crowd. Well, that's about the 4th one we've seen. Go sailing. No, it didn't go into the crowd. It stayed down. Duval knocks it loose. I was watching all the people dive for cover. Duval right to Kennedy. Headman left to Barnes. Barnes can't get to it. Broken up by Portland. Winterhawks wheel around. Meiden across the blue line. Out into the slot, and Lebrun there to knock it loose. Now Barnes splits the defense. Here comes the Americans 3-on-1. Lebrun with Kennedy. Kennedy shot! Blocked by Defoe. Boy, Defoe came up big on that one and shot back into the Tri-City zone. It'll be icing when Krause touches it. And we'll be back on this Tri-Cities Radio Americans hockey broadcast. Nobody really won that one. Loose puck picked up by Portland. Shot into neutral ice, but Ruck is there for the Americans. Now Jakes playing it off the boards left. Picked up neatly by Mitchell, and Ruck will slap it back into the Portland zone, and we'll have icing again, this time against the Tri-City Americans. And, well, they bring it back. Score tied at 1. We'll be back on this Tri-Cities Radio Americans hockey broadcast. Top of the Portland zone, won by the Tri-City Americans. They bring it up quickly. Delcourt, a shot from the left side. Blocked, and the Winterhawks bring it back into neutral ice. Now Portland with it. As Hamish Black breaks the blue line, comes into the right of Kolzig, shoots. Kolzig stretches out and blocks it. And it comes back up to the point now. Left behind for the Americans. Jakes there. Here comes Jakes. Portland in a shift change as Holland steps onto the ice. Right side, a drive. Blocked by Thudium. Or by Thudium, blocked by Kolzig. Now the Americans chip it back out to the blue line. Portland with it. Backhand shot. Into the corner right in Fry. Slaps it into the corner for the Tri-Cities. Right to Jakes. Jakes feeds it out to Delcourt. Here comes Rennie. Rennie hooked from behind by Holland. Rennie breakaway. Rennie shoots. Hits the pipe and runs wide of the net. Rennie digs for it. Into the corner. Wide of the Tri-Cities net. I thought Rennie might get the call there. Up to Duval. Duval a shot. Just blocked by Defoe left of the net. Kutowitz keeping it in play at the blue line left. Comes in along the boards. Now Holland taking it away. Holland. Cross ice pass goes left to Moore. Moore, it's broken up. Americans, right side, Del Corte, shot. Blocked, and Fry there for it. Fry tried to center to Rennie. Dogger couldn't get to it. Here comes Holland. Holland for Portland. Across the blue line. Feeds it back to Terry Black. Black across the blue line for the Winterhawks. Right side, Jorgensen, his shot. Rebounds behind the net. Back forward is Duval. Murray Duval for the Americans, bringing it up. Duval into neutral ice. Duval sweeps it to the left boards, dumps it in left of the net, and Dirksen races after it. Under 2 minutes to go. You hear the crowd yelling PCA. Puck goes into the left corner. Barnes chops it down to Lebrun in the left corner, and it'll be frozen there.
Well, I tell you something, Kirk, the Americans are sure showing a completely different style of play. Now, one thing that Coach John Olver did mention before the game was that he would like to try to keep this game down as far as scoring goes. He knows that if he gets into a scoring battle, in the last 3 games, the total score has been 21-19 in favor of Portland. But if you get into a high-scoring battle with this high-explosive Winterhawk team, chances are you may come out on the losing end, and he wants to keep his defense very much intact tonight.
Well, they've been doing a good job so far. Barnes against Plouston on the faceoff. Minute 46 to play, tied at 1. Now Plouston being excused. Young man from Midnapore, Alberta. John Plouston. Now Barnes being checking out. In comes Lebrun. It'll be Lebrun against Maiden. Lebrun wins it. Barnes in the slot, right of the net. Shot! Just wide of the net left side. Knocked back down underneath by Anchikowski. Lebrun trying to center from the left side, and the puck's frozen by Defoe. Boy, Byron Defoe's been a busy young man down there.
He sure has. The line out there right now for the Tri-City Americans, Sean Lebrun, Stu Barnes, and the new boy, Troy Kennedy, along with Saran Sandwith and Rob Krause.
Face-off won by Portland this time as Jorgensen fires it off the boards to Maiden. Maiden through neutral ice to Plouston. Plouston across the blue line. To the right side he goes to Biofor. His shot. And Kolzig pad save off into the corner. Puck goes on the right boards. Boards right of the net now. And the Americans dig it loose. Here comes Barnes, 3-on-2. Lebrun and Kennedy. Kennedy takes it off the boards, chops it over cross ice to Barnes. Barnes with it. Being kicked off his skates there by Maiden. Now it's shot back to neutral ice. Krause will race back for him. 1 minute to play. Krause back for the Americans. No icing call. Headman pass to Barnes. He lets it go for Lebrun. Across the blue line. Barnes or Lebrun trading shots with Mitchell. Puck goes right of the net. And a big hit put on there by Barnes. Now Kennedy with it. Kennedy digging along the boards. It comes out to the blue line. Portland with it in neutral ice. Puck shot across the ice to the right side. Terry Black backhands it into the Tri-City zone. Krause back for it. Krause around to Del Corte. Del Corte starts the rush for the Americans. Here comes Del Corte. Del Corte with Krause and Barnes. Puck goes to the right side. Krause gets his stick on it. Chops it back up front now to Spenrath. Left to Sandwith. His shot. Blocked underneath. Puck loose along the boards. A whistle. And we'll have a penalty coming up as Barnes and Holland exchanging abuse down there. Now Holland jerked away from Barnes. And I think, no, I shouldn't think. What do you think, Tony?
I think Mitchell's going to go sit down for a couple minutes. I think he was in there with a roughing penalty on Stu Barnes right as he was hitting around the net. And looks like Mr. Roy Mitchell is going to sit down.
I thought,
interference.
I thought Holland was going to get it. But it comes at the 1951 mark, which means the Americans will open the second period with a face-off.
The power play opportunity.
Or with a power play, rather. Yeah, you always start with face-off, don't you?
Well, I think so. Well, that's good, though. The Americans need that. And remember,
I'm just too excited. I can't stand it.
Spokane Chiefs had 2 periods, the second and third period, where they started off with power plays, and it paid off for them. The Americans, they need this. They'll have plenty of time in that second period with the power play.
In the Portland zone, puck loose in the slot. Winterhawks get to it. Slap it to neutral ice. 4 seconds remaining. Kolzig comes out. Kolzig will touch it and let time run out. So the score at the end of the first period, Tri-City Americans won. Portland Winterhawks won. We'll be back on this Tri-Cities Radio American hockey broadcast.
Play the Portland Portland Winterhawks had 12 shots on the net. They scored 1. And the Tri-City Americans outshot them, had 13 shots on goal, and 1 also went in. We're tied 1-1 as we start the second period.
Good big crowd tonight. That really helps the Tri-City Americans as they get ready for this game, this second period. Crowd looks like they're having a good time tonight. And we get ready for the face-off now. It will be the line of Meiden, Clouston, and Jorgensen for Portland. Barnes, Kennedy, and Lebrun for the Americans. Kennedy at the right wing on Barnes' right-hand side. Face-off won by Barnes. No, it's not Lebrun, it's Nibs. Let's see where Lebrun is as the Americans bring it up to neutral ice. Jakes with it. Jakes dumping it in on net, and Defoe poking it away. Americans on the power play. Winterhawks. Headman right to Clouston. He's taken down by Kennedy. There's Lebrun back on the ice. Now it's Lebrun, Barnes, and Nibs. Oh, Nibs and Kennedy at the blue line. Shot by Kennedy. Blocked by Defoe. We'll get it right in a second. Power play, Lebrun's back at the blue line. Puck kept in the Portland zone and covered up along the blue line by Scott Meiden.
Coach John Olver's made a change and moved Sean Lebrun out to the point.
Well, actually he hasn't. Lebrun's usually at the point on the power play.
That's right.
And we all forgot it was the power play.
And I think you're right, Kirk. I did too.
Terminal brain damage, folks. Sorry.
That's exactly
so exciting. My last 3 brain cells are just losing it here.
That's exactly what it is. It's a power play. There's 1:07 left on the penalty to Roy Mitchell. And the Americans are in, I believe, their second power play of the evening.
Holland against Barnes. And this time, Barnes wins the draw. Draws it back to neutral ice to Jakes. Jakes left. Lebrun. Runner across the blue line. Shovels it in left of the net. Goes all the way around into the corner. Spenrath there for Tri-Cities. To Barnes, and he chips it right up out of play into the crowd. 1 minute has been played in the second period. We're tied at 1.
The Americans could really use a big power play goal here and keep Portland in check most of the evening. The big thing they've got to concern themselves with is the next 40 minutes of hockey. They've got to play very serious hockey over the next 2 periods.
Americans 0 for 1.5 on the power play so far. Face-off shot toward the net, blocked away by Defoe. Barnes plays it out to Lebrun. Lebrun right, Jakes top of the slot. Back to Lebrun left, goes right to Nibs on the wing. Nibs misses the puck, goes back in the corner. Back out to Jakes now. Jakes slides it left to Lebrun, back to Jakes. Jakes top of the slot, cranks up a shot, goes right to Nibs. Calvin Nibs shoots, and it's blocked by Defoe. Byron Defoe doing the work for the Winterhawks. And back for it goes Lebrun, back into neutral ice. Sean Lebrun across the blue line. Lebrun up from the left side, sweeps around right of the net, leaves it in center. Comes up to Jake. Jake sweeps it left onto the left boards. Here comes Lebrun. Lebrun has it centered, and now Portland slapping it away. Back into neutral ice, into the Tri-City zone. Kolzig there for it. And the power play is over as Mitchell steps in. Puck shot along the dashboard behind the net. Barnes races after it with Meiden. Meiden shoots it back to neutral ice. Winterhawks race after it, but Jakes will get there first. Clouston all over Jakes as he goes around behind the net. Fires the path length of the ice. It'll be icing when Jorgensen goes back to touch for Portland. And the score 1-1, icing. The call will be back on this Tri-Cities Radio hockey broadcast. On the face-off, the Americans try right to Dirksen, but his pass broken up. Dumped in by Murray Duval, right of the net. Shot back out now to neutral ice. Duval, a shot is covered up by Defoe.
So far, the Tri-City Americans have taken 3 shots on the net, and Portland has yet to take a shot at Olaf Kolzig.
Well, that one was a pretty hard left-handed slap shot by Duval. And Defoe took it right in the breadbasket. Face-off to your right as you look on from neutral ice. In the face-off circle. In the Portland zone. Chopped down into the corner by the Winterhawks. They dig it out along the boards. Backhanded toward the net by Duval. And blocked again by Defoe. Puck throws in there. And the Americans need to get this crowd cranked up and making some noise now.
Chad, when you're sitting down there, do you like to get everybody excited around where you're sitting?
Yeah, I'm kind of the section leader on the assaults on the referee and intimidating the opponents.
You guys had quite an article in your school newspaper there. That was really something. I'd like to read a couple clips a little bit later.
Okay. Face-off to the left-hand side of Defoe. Rennie wins it. Portland takes it away. Right behind the net, Flintoff. Whipping it back out along the boards. On the left side of the net, Rick Fry with it. Fry has it knocked off of his stick. Back for it is Portland. Winterhawks get it. They control it. Start to bring it up. Thudium. Calvin Thudium dumping it in. Centered. And the Americans break up the pass. Here comes Duval. Duval. Headman pass for Dirksen. Broken up by Portland. But it goes into the Portland zone. Right of the net. Dirksen. Dirksen shoots. Blocked by Defoe. Puck comes out to the right side. Defoe getting a pad on it. And here come the Winterhawks quickly as their Americans down on the ice. Across the blue line come the Winterhawks. Gray eye shot wide of the net. Comes in right. Back around behind the net, Thudium. Thudium with it. Plays it out to Fry from Kutowitz. Now Cutter taking it off his stick. Here comes Kelly Kutowitz for the Americans. Kutowitz across the blue line. Drops it back for Duval. Murray goes to the left corner with it. Tried to center for Spenrath. His pass broken up by Portland. Foot race. Thudium and Delcourt. Now Delcourt will wheel in behind the Tri-Cities net. Delcourt with it. Shoots a quick pass intended for Krause. It'll go the length of the ice and be icing when it's touched by Biofor. And with the score tied at 1, we'll be back on this Tri-Cities Radio Americans hockey broadcast. Face-off right of the Tri-Cities net. Won by the Americans. Shot back in by Portland. Now Jakes with it. Shovels it along the boards to Spenrath. Spenrath chopping it into neutral ice. Delcourt in a foot race. Delhi will get to it. Here comes Delcourt with Malone. Delcourt shoots. Blocked out front by Defoe. Now Holland wheels around behind the net. Holland with it for the Winterhawks. Holland, headman right to Black. Terry Black into the right corner. Krause on him. And the puck taken away by the Americans. Here comes Spenrath, 1-on-3. Puck chopped up in the air and into the Winterhawk bench. And the face-off will come at center ice.
Kirk, we played 4 minutes and 32 seconds of this second period, and Portland has yet to have a shot on goal. So far, the Tri-City Americans have had 6 shots on the net. Portland has come up empty, and that's exactly what you want to try to do.
Well, there will be a game between these two teams in Portland on the 25th of January. There is a fan fun bus going to Portland. It's $35 round trip plus your game ticket. And for information, call us at 783-8448. Face-off won by the Americans. Here comes Scherstenka. Scherstenka to Lebrun. Lebrun and a slaughter shot. Just blocked by Defoe wide of the net. Lebrun chases after it. Now Kennedy digging it off his stick. Out front, Barnes taking it away. Slides it down for Lebrun. Meiden breaks up the pass. Tries to get it out to Klustin, and Krause is there. Krause shoving it back along the boards into the Portland zone. Back behind the net goes Mitchell, and Barnes puts him into the glass hard.
We have an icing.
Icing will be called against Tri-Cities, and we'll go back the length of the ice, and the face-off will come in the Tri-Cities zone. 15:02 remaining in the period. We're tied at 1 here in the Tri-Cities Coliseum. Kirk Williamson along with Tony Ott and Chad Meyer.
Very exciting game, open-ended game, and that's the kind of hockey that, as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, that the American fans really enjoy watching, and this has been a crowd pleaser tonight so far.
It certainly has. Face-off to the left of Olaf Kolzig, your left, as you look on from center ice. Now Robertson being excused from the face-off circle. In will come Dirksen to face Sean Klustin. Durkee winning it, goes into the corner, but Klustin there to take the puck away. Now the puck's loose. The Americans have it. Robertson gets it to Dirksen. Back to Robertson. Now here comes Fry. Rick Fry with the puck. Has it checked away by the Winterhawks. But it goes right to Dirksen. Dirksen in from the right side to Robertson. Slides it toward the goal. Blocked by Defoe. And the Winterhawks wheel right back. Here comes Portland. Meiden up the left wing board. Meiden with it. Wheels around in the corner. Tried to shoot. And it was blocked by the Americans. Meiden throws his stick at Robertson. And the puck dumped into the Portland zone. In behind the net goes Mitchell. Mitchell wheels around behind his own goalie. Comes out and Dirksen lays him down on the ice. And here comes Meiden across the blue line. Centered, and it's knocked away by Jake. Fry racing back for it. Here comes Fry, 1-on-1. Up the right side, drops it back for Jakes. Jakes at the blue line. Shoot! Just wide of the net. The Americans get a couple more pokes at it. They won't get it to go. And the Winterhawks control it. They bring it back out. Boy, Defoe came up big and got a lot of help from his defense that time. Puck shot into the Tri-City zone. Kolzig steers it around behind the net for Jakes. Here comes Steve Jakes. Jakes goes left to Troy Kennedy. Kennedy in a foot race. Chops it ahead to Barnes. And we have a two-line pass, maybe.
I believe it was an offside. Yeah, I think you're right, Kirk. I think it might have been up there at the red line there. They're going to take it out to the red line, and that generally indicates a two-line offside pass.
Americans and the Winterhawks tied at 1. Well, John Olver wanted a low-scoring affair. Ken Hodge would like to have a shootout. And right now, the Americans' defense having it their way.
And looking excellent out there. Another little point I'd like to make, a good luck and congratulations coming up to Mr. Ken Hodge, who is expecting their first child any day now. We're talking minutes, actually.
Barnes on the face-off with Gorley. Gorley winning it, but there is Sandwith to dump it into the Portland zone. Winterhawks cleared out. Big hit by Fry on Flintoff. Back behind the net is Gorley bringing it up. Gorley across the blue line, taken down by Sandwith. Gorley and Terrance Sandwith as Barnes wheels around behind the net. Here comes the Barnes-Arama. Barnes shoots a pass left. Lebrun can't get to it, but Sandwith there for the Americans. Whoops, he caught Lebrun in the Portland zone. Oh, Lebrun and Biafor having a little set to over there. As the puck brought up by Thudium. Thudium in the slot, tries to get around Jakes. Jakes taking him to the right corner. Thudium goes down. Barnes has the puck along the boards. Shot back in by Portland behind the net. Sandwith there. Terrance Sandwith shooting it up to the point. A shot blocked by Kolzig. Rebound slapped away by the Americans. And it'll be icing when the Winterhawks get back to touch it. And with the score tied at 1, we'll be back on this Tri-Cities Radio Americans hockey broadcast.
License number 008 APN. Your lights are on and your battery is trying for help.
Can I sit there and show you guys? She likes it anyway. Any place.
Face-off won by the Portland Winterhawks, right. And then the Americans bring it back up front. There's a shot from out the left point. Moore back into the corner. The Americans have it. They shoot it along the boards. Back into Trelice it goes, and Mike Moore back for it. Moore with it. Headman left for Holland, and it's knocked away by the Americans. Duval there to break it up. Now Rennie running along the boards. Takes it into the Portland zone. Skating in after it hard is Calvin Nibb. Nibb upending his man. Oh, he put Jorgensen down hard. Puck's right behind him. And Dirksen there. Centers out front for Rennie. Portland able to poke it away. Racing back for it is Kutowicz. And Kolzig comes out to play it to neutral ice. Racing in for it is Rennie. Now Nibbs at the blue line. Duval firing it in right of the net. Goes all the way around to the left point. Malone steps in, can't get to it. Portland shooting it back out to neutral ice. Duval back for it. There's been one shot on Kolzig so far. Delcourt and Malone walk in. Delcourt shoots!
And all the way up in there.
Blocked, I believe.
Way up into the H section. And Souvenir up there towards the Pasco band.
Well, that one went up real high and real hard. Kelly shot it right over the top of the crossbar.
And that was a good 2-on-1 break there, and Frank Malone set him up just perfectly as he headed in the slot right on Defoe. And Deli took a nice little wrist shot trying to get it upstairs on the glove side. And he got his stick up there somehow and put it up into the H section. And we're going to have a face-off just outside the Portland blue line.
Malone draws it back to Krause. Krause fires it into the Portland zone. Defoe gloves it, drops it for Biafor. Biafor bringing it up for the Winterhawks. Biafor, headman pass left to Gray Eyes. Gray Eyes gets it ahead to Fleetwood. Chopped away from it, or Gorley just chopped away by Kolzig. Kolzig takes a big hit there by Gorley, and he comes up big. Puck stolen away by the Winterhawks. Back in neutral ice. Shot back in on Kolzig. Foley's there, and he fires one into the crowd. And we may get a delay penalty on Kolzig here. Let's see.
Yeah, that's very true. Nope, he's shaking his head. Referee And they are, I believe that's what they're going to do. What happens right there is that if the goaltender does that and shoots it off into the crowd, at the delay of game penalty, they're going to have to take one of the players and put him in the penalty box for 2 minutes. And this gives the Portland Winterhawks a power play opportunity.
Portland will have their 3rd power play opportunity of the night. Well, here comes the ordinary wave again. Spenrath will serve the penalty. The ordinary wave. I keep waiting to see the spiral wave get started. As the Americans fans really get it going now. It whips all the way around into Section 8, Section F.
Well, they've got it going good now.
Yep.
Portland's 1 for 2 on power play so far this evening.
Fry against Holland on the face-off. To the left of Kolzig. Fry wins it. Portland has it back. Hamish Black a drive. And Kolzig covers it up. Now Kraus exchanging slashes with Hamish Black. Or check it with Fleetwood. And I don't think much will come of it.
Shots on goal so far. There have been 8 by the Tri-City Americans, 3 by the Portland Winterhawks.
11:01 to play in the period. And we're tied at 1 in the second period. Fry against Holland. Now Fry stepping out. In goes Steve Rennie. Face-off won by Holland, but Fry there to take it off his stick. Fry fires it back to the Portland zone. The Winterhawks will have to go back and reset the rush. Jamie Hamish Black behind his own net. Hamish Black bringing it out now. Feeds it right to Dennis Holland. Drop back pass to Hamish Black. Left to Bio 4 for the break-in is taken away from him by Jakes. And a scramble for it along the boards.
I believe it was frozen up, but an excellent play by Steve Jakes to stand ground at his own blue line and basically act just like a post out there. He didn't even move an inch, and that's good because what will happen is that forward rushing in on the break will actually hold up and lose the puck and cause most of the time an offsides, and that's just, I think, what we have here, Kurt.
Delcourt, Jakes, Nibs, and Kraus for the Americans. Face off at the blue line. Portland winning it. Jakes there to slap it away. Picked up by Clouston and rejected again by Jakes. Shot back into the Portland zone. Wheeling back forward is Moore for the Winterhawks. Pulls up short behind his own net. Now Mike Moore starts the outlet pass. Feeds it right to Roy Mitchell. Mitchell snaps a nice pass left, but Jakes is there as the puck just overshot and on rushing Meiden. Minute 2 remaining in the penalty to Spenrath. Winterhawks chase back. Now they bring it up. A right side Mitchell fires it in left of the net. There's Jakes. And he puts a bullet up into the crowd. And that lady came up and caught it. Hit her right on the back of the wrist. And it doesn't look like it broke more than 4 or 5 bones, Tony.
Well, there's about 20 of them there, so I think there's a couple to spare. Boy, did that come out of that ice hockey rink very loud and very hard. That one had WHL and Americans written all over it.
That 8th row, and she's still holding her wrist. It'll hurt, but she's got a souvenir. Holland against Fry on the face-off now. Puck shot back out to the point. Moore a drive deflected by Fry, but it came right back into the slot. Now Duval there to air it back into the Portland zone.
Great penalty killing by the Americans.
Racing in after it is Fry, but the puck left behind the net for Mitchell. Now Rennie chases in on Mitchell. Rennie takes him off the puck, but he's able to kick it out to Moore. Moore. Pass goes to the right side for Fleetwood, and Kolzig comes out, shoots it right in Fleetwood's face. Back to neutral ice. Rennie and Fry overskate the puck. Left side to Terry Black. Black from the left of Kolzig along the boards. Right up front at the blue line, and it's offside. Puck just crossed the blue line before Biafort could get to it. Portland drops the defenseman back to the blue line, and they leave him there for an outlet pass, either on the left or right. And it's up to him when the puck comes back that way to get across the blue line quickly enough to keep from being offside.
Yeah, what they like to do is they like to pinch the corners. That means they'll hold those corners real tight on a puck that comes up to the side of the board, and that way they'll have an extra guy back here just in case it gets a little sloppy and there's a breakaway. So they do have that extra man back there.
Barnes against Holland, 16 seconds remaining in the penalty. Barnes, Kennedy, Kutowitz, and Jakes. Face-off won by the Winterhawks. 13 seconds left in the penalty. Puck shot right in the net. Kolzig leaves it for Kutowitz. Kutowitz fires it off the board. Back out to neutral ice. Winterhawks will have to chase after it. 4 seconds. 3, 2. Barnes racing in after Biafor. Biafor beats him around the net, but Kennedy puts him down.
And the referee didn't see that.
Puck at the neutral ice. Here's Penrath, a drive, score! Penrath!
And I think they're going to disallow it. I think there's offside.
It looks like they may, and a Portland Winterhawks player is down, and, well, he'll be getting up in a second. That's Biafor. Chad Biafor being worked on by the Portland trainer. Score 1-1, and we'll see about that last goal. And we'll take time out on this Tri-Cities Radio American hockey broadcast.
No goal. Offside. No goal.
The goal was disallowed as the Tri-Cities player was offside. And actually the Tri-City player was Penrath. Offside, and the faceoff will come outside the Portland blue line.
All-star Chad Biafor for Portland is being led to the locker room. That collision out there at the blue line really hurt him pretty good because he's on his way back to the dressing room.
Boy, Penrath just turned him in, or Kennedy rather, wasn't it?
I believe it was.
Just turned him inside out at the blue line. Faceoff won by Meiden. Meiden losing it to Jakes. Shot back into the Portland zone, but here come the Winterhawks. Mitchell shoots it ahead, and Jakes there to break up the play. Back to neutral ice. Slapped back in by Joey Mittelstadt. Back across the crease, and Kolzig will leave it there for Jakes. Jakes back behind the net, plays it out right now to Lebrun. Sean Lebrun. Headman pass for Barnes. Barnes banging away with Mittelstadt. Now Barnes wheels through the zone. Stu Barnes, you hear the crowd yelling, Stu, Stu. Barnes, upended, loses it in the slot. Puck shot back to neutral ice. Here comes Clouston up the right side, but he overskated the puck, and it's offside. Clouston had to slow down, and Wayne Anchikoski just came across offside. They just picked him up from Salmon Arm of the Tier 2 BC Junior League. He's 6'3", 197-pounder from Enderby, British Columbia. Kelly Kutowitz in the penalty box tonight.
And Stu Barnes is going to go take a chair for a couple minutes. And we're going to get the official call on this in just a minute. Public address announcer Tom Lathan.
Well, Barnesy not happy.
No, he's not.
The crowd's not happy either. Penalty coming at
Tri-City American penalty is to number 14, Stu Barnes. 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct at 11:43.
Now, I'm not sure what that was.
Kirk, what's the definition of unsportsmanlike conduct in hockey?
Illegal use of the mouth, probably.
Saying something about the referee's mom, a flattering remark, possibly?
Well, Stewie has a pretty good command of the Queen's English, let's just say that. Mitchell across the blue line for Portland. Mitchell back up front now to Black. Black top of the slot, is shot, and it goes into the crowd. That was blocked out front. West Portland defense doing a good job of covering those shots up front.
Well, they are playing according to what Coach John Olver wanted to do. The Americans are. They have definitely kept the Portland Winterhawks down, and the big person they've kept down and out of the picture, number 15, Dennis Holland. And
yeah, well, you remember the last time in Portland that happened.
That's very true.
The 10-minute Holland hat trick. Ooh. Face off to won by Hamish Black, just inside the Tri-City zone. Hamish Black goes left to Mitchell. Back to Hamish Black, a shot blocked by Kolzig. Kolzig covers it up, and the referee says count it, I think. Let's see.
I don't know.
No, Kolzig took it right out of the air.
Oh, that was an incredible stop by Olaf Kolzig. That puck taken out at the point out there by number 6, Roy Mitchell, and he took a blast. And I'll guarantee you this, Olaf Kolzig deserves a big hand from the Tri-City.
Well, that'll jack him up.
Oh,
Only the goalie reaching behind himself and pulling that puck right out of the air.
That was incredible. Highlight film on that one.
That's a play of the week special. Holland against Calvin Nibbs. Face off to the left-hand side of Oli the goalie. Portland on the power play. 7:58 to play, second period. Oh, the sticks come right up in the linesman's face, and Holland and Nibbs scramble for it, and Nibbs being checked out of the faceoff circle for Rennie. And Rennie wins the draw. And it's shot back by Jake. Racing back forward is Nibbs. He's all over Hamish Black. Oh, is he going to put a hit on Hamish Black? He did. Broke up the play right of the net. Now Nibbs gets upended, a penalty coming as Mitchell did a deal on Calvin Nibbs. Oh, boy.
And boy, is this crowd coming alive. I love it.
God, it looked like Mitchell hit him with everything but the kitchen sink down there.
Yeah, it was quite a check there.
This gives the Americans a 36-second power play soon. Get the official here for Tom Latham.
Roy Mitchell, 2 minutes for holding at 12:19.
It didn't look like holding to me.
I didn't see holding out there.
No, that was about the only thing he didn't do, I think. Face-off will come. Now both teams at equal strength. It's 4-on-4 now for the next minute and 24 seconds. Then the Americans will have a short power play. Face-off won by Tri-Cities. Jakes into the slot. Kennedy, and it's batted away by Defoe. Back to Kraus. Kraus chipping it in. Defoe knocking it away again. Comes out to Jorgensen. Back into the right corner. Big hit on Jorgensen by Lebrun. Gets it to Jakes. They scramble forward along the boards. Jakes knocks it loose. Kennedy gets it. Dumping it into the left corner. But Jorgensen is there for Portland. Here come the Winterhawks. Fires into neutral ice and a whistle. As Kennedy knocks it down.
The Americans are having a great game as far as forechecking goes. And that's where you keep pestering the defensive team in their own zone. And they're trying to clear that puck. And they're down there continually. The Americans are down there continually. Forechecking, stick checking. It's great. And that's exactly what wins games. Good, solid offense at this end and real tight defense at the American zone.
Face-off just inside the Portland blue line. Off the right-hand side of Defoe, kind of at the top of the circle. And it's won by the Winterhawks. Here comes Portland. Shot ahead to Terry Black. Black into the Tri-City zone. Kolzig stops it behind the net. Waits and then backhands it out along the boards. Left of the net. Middlestat firing it back for Portland. Comes out to Duval along the boards. Rennie takes it off his stick. Here goes Rennie and Fry. 2-on-2. Rennie across the blue line. Rennie shot. Blocked by Defoe. Rebound up front. And Defoe knocks it back to neutral ice. Duval wheels back for the Americans. Murray Duval back in his own zone now. Duval ahead to Rennie. Rennie coming up the left boards. Right to Fry. Fry upended by Middlestat. Puck loose at the Portland blue line. Back go the Winterhawks. Viafor with it. Viafor shoots a pass cross ice to the right to Black. Terry Black in the slot shoots over Kolzig. And in behind the net goes Rennie. Rennie now for the Americans. 2 seconds left in the penalty to Barnes. Barnes steps out right into the play. Duval across the blue line. A drive left of the net, and it'll go clear back the length of the ice. Kolzig out to play it to Barnes. Or to Jakes, rather. Jakes and Barnes behind the net. Here they come. Now Kennedy ties up Clouston. And offside as Barnes goes across the blue line early.
It was a good play by Mike Moore for Portland, who stand at the blue line. Did a very similar play that what Steve Jakes had done earlier. Basically post up right at the blue line. Caused them to lose their break ability. And the puck was lost all over the place. And Stu Barnes and Sean Lebrun both in offsides on that play.
You know, there have only been 3 penalties called in this period.
And that's excellent. That means this hockey game is going and doing a hockey game. That's what it should be.
Face-off just outside the Portland blue line. Barnes against Clouston. Barnes with Lebrun and Kennedy, Jakes and Schustenka, the D pair. Barnes winning the draw, goes to Kennedy, gets it into Lebrun. Lebrun on the left wing, up front now to Schustenka. Schustenka shot! Blocked inside. Kennedy chasing after it into the right corner. Comes out to Jakes. Jakes chopping it back along the blue line. Stolen out of there by Meiden. Here comes Meiden in a hurry. Shot wide of the net, goes right into the corner. Clouston. Back up front now is Lebrun. 3-on-3. Lebrun.
Nice pass.
Headman left to Barnes. Barnes wheels in. Barnes slides it over to Kennedy, and Kennedy taken right out of the play as the Americans chase after it, but the Winterhawks have it. They bring it up. It's 3-on-3. Cross the blue line left. Meiden wheels around. Meiden steps around Barnes in the slot. Clouston blocked by Kolzig. A 10-footer from Clouston is blocked by Olaf Kolzig. Now it's lifted back into neutral ice. Barnes chasing after it for the Americans. Barnes leaving it back for Delcourt. Delly chopping after it loose in the slot. A shot by Lebrun. is covered up by Defoe.
Well, I'll tell you what, it looks to me like the Americans really want this hockey game very badly. They are playing hockey. Portland seems to be sitting on the backs of their skates right now. They don't even seem to be chasing the men that are going down into their own zone. This gives the Americans 2-on-1 opportunities down there. And I'll tell you what, Defoe, I'm sure down there is John with his players a little bit saying, guys, we got to get back on defense and get on the fronts of your skates a little bit.
Well, the Winterhawks leading the Western Hockey League Western Division with 53 points, 25 wins against 10 losses and 3 ties. The Americans with 30 points, just 8 points out of third place. Puck lost across the blue line, shot back in now by Teran Sandwith. Sandwith playing about his 3rd or 4th shift now for the Americans. Brings it, Portland bringing it across the blue line. Puck kick loose right in the slot. Winterhawks after the shot, backhanded, and Kolzig comes up big again. Backhand shot taken by Gray Eyes, and Kolzig robs him again, point blank.
I'll tell you what, Kirk, that play was designed right there by Gurley and Bayafor as they did their crossing pattern right out in front of the slot. As they did that, the Americans, both their defensemen followed those two, left the puck straight out in the middle, and that gave a chance for Gray Eyes to take a shot, and it went right underneath Oli's, and the crowd is going, Oli, Oli, Oli. I love it. They're giving Olaf Kolzig just a great hand here tonight.
Tied at 1, the Americans and Portland Winterhawks. 4:40 to go in the second period. Face-off to the right of the Tri-Cities goalie in the face-off circle. It will be Gorley against Robertson. Now Gorley gets chased, and in comes Calvin Thudium. Face-off won by Thudium, but the Americans steal it away. Duval there. Duval gets around Thudium, brings it up across the Tri-Cities slot, back into neutral ice, feeds a pass left. Chopped loose at the blue line. Portland with it. The Winterhawks have it at the Tri-Cities blue line. Here comes Thudium. Thudium across the blue line left, dumps it back now to Gray Eyes. A shot mothered out front, puck wide of the net. Kolzig gets his glove on it, and Kolzig will cover it up as Fry and Gorley are going to tangle, and Gorley needs to go sit for a minute on that play, and if he doesn't, he should.
And boy, they are really...
Now Duval being roughed up by being dragged out of there by the linesman. And they'll move down to the other end of the net. We're tied at 1, 4:11 to go in the period, and now Duval goes to the penalty box. And we'll get the official call for you in a second.
Another Tri-City American penalty. This time it's 2 minutes for roughing number 11, Murray Duval. 2 minutes for roughing at 15:49.
Yeah, right, folks. What, do you just see the third penalty there? Is that the way that works? Puck goes into the Tri-City zone. Chasing after it is Calvin Nibbs. Kraus shooting it back out to the neutral ice. And Rennie races after it up the right wing boards. Rennie chasing after it. Whoa! Rennie and Mitchell go down big.
And we got a penalty
right
coming up.
Holding? Oh, sure. Power play number 5 underway for Portland, by the way. Well, that's an interesting call.
And it's going to be against Portland.
I just don't think I understand the rule about holding, maybe.
Well, that was going to look a little different, I think. I thought that was a beautiful hip check, to be honest with you.
Well, I did too. Mitchell throws his stick into the penalty box. He's not a happy person. 3:50 to go in the period. That penalty will make it 4-on-4 now. Face-off in the Portland zone.
The Americans will have a 21-second power play as soon as the penalty to Murray Duval is completed.
Face-off to the left-hand side of the Portland goalie. Won by the Americans out to Jakes. Jakes steps around 2 men, but the Winterhawks strip it away. Good play there by Black. and Dennis Holland. Holland back to Black. Terry Black in the slot, a shot. Kolzig will glove it and drop it behind the net for Jakes. Here comes Jakes. Jakes feeds it ahead now to Lebrun. Lebrun has his checked off of it by Mike Moore. Winterhawks wheel back through the zone. 3:22 to go. Up the right side, Jorgensen. He fires. Kolzig comes up with a glove save again. Around behind the net goes Kraus. Kraus looking ahead, but it's knocked down at center ice by Meiden. Here comes Meiden with Clouston left of the net. Meiden wipes out, fires it in behind the net. Kraus
and
there.
we got another penalty
coming up. And it'll be against Tri-Cities, a slash.
And I'll tell you right now, these Tri-City fans are getting very vocal on how they think these penalties should be called.
Well, that's going against Steve Jakes, one of the Bruise brothers. That one coming at the 16:57 mark.
Penalty to number 4, Steve.
Well, now it'll be 4-on-3 for 52 seconds, then 4-on-4, and then 4-on-5, 5-on-4. Right?
That's it.
Americans 0 for 3 on power play so far. Face off to the right of Kolzig. Won by Portland. Winterhawks have it. They take it out left side. In behind the side of the net left. Black. Backhand shot. Kolzig blocks it. Americans Fenrath fires at the length of the ice. Dave Foe comes out to play it for Portland. Dumps it ahead to Hamish Black. Jamie Hamish Black brings it into the neutral area. Loses it at the blue line. It's shot back out by Fenrath. Back go the Winterhawks. Clouston with it. Clouston into neutral ice. Sean Clouston across the blue line now. A drive, and Kolzig takes that one right in the face.
And I'm telling you, that one really caught Oli up high, very high. He's getting up and he's shaking it off. But I'll tell you something, that one really got him.
Got him right in the neck and looked like it went, yep, got him right in the side of the neck.
And he's got himself a nice bruise on the side. He'll remember that shot.
Well, that's got to make everything you got hurt. You hear the crowd respond, though. Following Oli, as Kolzig comes up with a tremendous save on the Portland shot.
I imagine that he will be visiting goalie coach and head trainer Jim Craig on that one.
2:28 to go in the second period. We're tied at 1. PA system plays. I'm all shook up. Face off into the slot. A shot wide of the net right. Off the stick of Jorgensen. Puck goes into the corner. Jorgensen there. Oh, for Portland. Black with the puck. Black. Top of the slot. Goes left now to Moore. Moore slides it through the slot, but Rennie there to break it up. Holland down low, waiting for it. Couldn't get to it. Now Duval steps out into the play. It comes down to Defoe. The pass was just a little hot for Duval. Now it's shot back into the Portland zone. The Americans chase after it. We're 4-on-4 now for about 5 seconds, and then Portland will have a brief power play. Penalties over to number 6, Mitchell. Winterhawks back to full strength. The Americans fire it around the board. Back into the Portland zone. Chasing after it is Rennie and Jorgensen. Jorgensen gets it and gets double teamed by Rennie, and now Duval, or Delcourt rather, in there to tie up 2 Winterhawk players. Now Portland bring it up. Dump pass right. Goes to Black in the corner. Terry Black in from the right side. Centers it to Bio4, and Kolzig blocks it away again. Puck loose between the skates of Rennie, right of the net. As Rennie chases Holland into the corner. Now Dennis Holland knocks it down low to Black. Around behind the net, he wraps around. Comes up front now to Flintoff. His shot blocked out front by Cherstenka. Backhanded by Anchikowski, right of the net. And they'll tie it up at the net.
1 minute to
As Holland and Rennie tie up.
The penalty to Steve Jakes is over. Both teams are at equal strength. And Olaf Kolzig running around and slapping everybody on the pads for the Americans, saying, what a great job you've done doing the penalty killing.
1 minute remaining in the period. Boy, that has been a wild last couple of minutes, eh, Jeff? Sorry about that.
That's right. It's surprising that Oli the goalie was able to stay so fired up with Portland taking as few shots on goal as they did.
Well, and then that one that hit him in the neck, that went right under his chin and got him on the side of the neck.
Unofficially,
go ahead.
Unofficially 11 shots for Tri-Cities and 8 shots for the Portland Winterhawks so far this period.
Jason Dunham, one of the newest Americans, will be our guest in the second intermission. He'll be with Tony Ott. Face-off by Kennedy, knocked into neutral ice. We're tied at 1. Under a minute to go. Second period. Cudowitz for the Americans. Cutter firing it into the Portland zone. It'll be icing when it's touched there by Biafor. No, it isn't. Biafor right behind the net, Flintoff. They wiped it off. Shot down low in the corner left. Centered up front for Barnes. Puck's loose. Right of the net. 37 seconds to play in the period. Back to neutral ice. Cudowitz there to knock it away. Puck shot back into the Portland zone. Backboard is Biafor. Chad Biafor. Now he airs one up. And Jake's there to knock it away. Jakes backhands it into neutral ice. Barnes races after it with Lebrun. Kennedy there to block the pass. Backhanded again, and Lebrun takes it away. Now Clouston for Portland. 14 seconds. Shoots it in right of the Tri-Cities net. Cudowitz there. Slaps it off the boards. Shot back in by Mitchell into the left corner. Backboard is Jakes. Ahead to Kennedy. 2 seconds remaining. 1. And time runs out in the second period. And the score at the end of 2 periods, the Tri-City Americans won, Portland Winterhawks won. We'll be back in 2 minutes on this Tri-Cities Radio American hockey broadcast. By Kennedy, Thudium right side. Thudium pass left, broken up by Jakes. Jakes, headman left now to Lebrun. Lebrun sweeps it in for Rennie. And a whistle as
we have an offside.
Lebrun and Flintoff tie up. Lebrun really went down hard along the boards with Flintoff's stick caught between his knees. 1-1, the score, Tri-Cities and Portland.
New line change for the Tri-City Americans. Looks like Malone, Nibs, Cudowitz, Duval, and Fry.
Malone, left wing is Nibs, right wing is Rick Fry. Malone at center, the American from Milford, Michigan. Face-off won by Malone, but it's there for Flintoff. Overskated by Biafor. Malone takes it away from him. Back along the boards as Cudowitz knocks it down. Portland dumping it back into neutral ice. Backboard is Duval. Murray Duval for the Americans. He'll have to wheel back to his own zone. Finds Cudowitz. Ahead now to Nibs. Nibs along the left wing boards. Dumped into the Portland zone and backboard of the Winterhawks. Cross ice left. Clouston. Clouston at the Portland blue line. Cross center ice. Back to Meiden. Meiden has it slapped away, and it's back into the Portland zone for the Winterhawks. Back to their blue line. Pass goes right in. Nibs knocks it away. Back to Duval. Duval goes left. Cudowitz. Cudowitz, his pass smothered by Meiden. Here comes Clouston across the Tri-Cities blue line, and right there is Fry to break it up. Fry, headman to Malone. Broken up there by Biafor. Back to Duval. He fires it in. And the Americans regroup. Shift change for Tri-Cities as Fenrath, Rennie, and Barnes come back on, or Delcourt come back on the ice. Now Krause ahead to Rennie, or Fenrath up along the boards. Chopped out by Rennie. Puck goes high in the air. Delcourt and offside as Fenrath and Fleetwood tangle along the boards. Fenrath, I don't know what exactly he did to Brent Fleetwood along the boards, but part of Fleetwood went one way and part of him went the other.
Well, one of the reasons that Fenrath went over to talk with the linesman on that call was because it was Delcourt and Rennie that were right on the blue line. What you can have is you can have one skate outside the blue line as long as the both skates aren't in with the puck. And Rennie had both skates, one on one side and one on the other, and they called offsides.
Jakes firing it in behind the Portland net on the faceoff. Goes left to right, out to the point. Jakes, a shot. Kicked away by Defoe. Comes back out to the slot. In the slot, Rennie, backhand Delcourt. Tilly drives, and a glove save made by Defoe. Puck comes out along the boards. Couple of tremendous hits there as Rennie goes hard to the boards. Now a great diving save by Delcourt. That's what you need at the blue line. Holland losing the puck. They get it out right to Terry Black. Black tied up by the Americans.
Nice
to
pass.
Rennie, 2-on-1 from Fenrath. Right to Delcourt. He drives it wide of the net left side. Comes back into neutral ice. Racing backboard is Nibs. It'll be icing when Krause gets back to touch it. With icing the call. 16:09 to play. Tied at 1. We'll be back on this Tri-Cities Radio American hockey broadcast. Zone to the right-hand side of Byron Defoe. It'll be Barnes against Sean Clouston. Now Barnes being excused from the face-off circle. And Lebrun steps in. Kennedy moves to the other wing. Lebrun kicks the puck loose. Barnes chases after it. Portland with it. They feed it left now to Middlestat. Middlestat fires it in. Left of the Tri-Cities net. It goes all the way around to Clouston along the boards. Kutowicz ties up Sean Clouston. Clouston with it on his stick. Back up front. Mitchell a drive. Kicked loose by Duval up front. Now Rennie. Rennie looking for Barnes. There he is at the blue line. Barnes to Lebrun. Lebrun in the slot left. Duval a drive! Just wide of the net. And it goes back into the neutral ice. Kutowicz racing after it with Clouston. Shot back ahead now to Troy Kennedy. Kennedy dumping it in right of the Portland net. Lebrun racing after it. Lebrun, big Mitchell. He put Mitchell upside down. Kennedy and Barnes digging the puck loose. Barnes with it in the slot. Barnes, his shot smothered by Mitchell. Now Mitchell brings it into neutral ice. 3-on-2 to Clouston. Clouston goes right to Anchikoski. His shot wide of the net right. Kolzig may have gotten a glove on it. The Americans flip it back to neutral ice. Chasing after it is Biafour. Biafour and Barnes. Barnes will beat him to the puck in the corner. Biafour losing his stick. Portland firing it back to neutral ice. The Americans with it. Chopped by Nibbs into the air. Nibbs tied up at center ice. Taken off his stick by Gorley. Gorley back right to Mitchell. Mitchell bringing it up. Fires it in from center ice right. And Kolzig there to slap it back along the boards to Calvin Nibbs. Chasing after it is Barnes. Portland shooting it back into the Tri-City zone. Kolzig leaving it there for Kraus. Kraus whips one out along the boards. He got the referee. Here come the Americans. 3-on-2. Right side to Jakes. He pulls up, or Barnes rather, pulls up short, goes left. Shersenka off the boards. A shot. Blocked by Defoe. He'll play it around the boards right. And it goes back along the right wing boards. Gorley with it. Gorley shooting a pass. Cross ice right to Hamish Black. Hamish Black splits the defenders, goes right now to Gray Eyes. Gray Eyes in the corner. Puck's in the slot loose. The Americans doing a good job to take Hamish Black off it. Here comes the breakaway. Dirksen with Sherstenka. 2-on-2. Dirksen losing the puck down into the left corner. Centers it for Malone, and it's covered up by Defoe. Couple of high sticks exchanged down there by Sherstenka and Rob Flintoff.
Well, I tell you what, the Tri-City Americans are sure playing a great brand of hockey right now. Lots of running up and down the ice here. Great defense down there in front of the net to keep Olaf Kolzig in great position to check that puck out of there. And I'll tell you what, you got to hand it to Steve Jakes, Devin Dirksen, and the gang. They did a tremendous job helping out Olaf Kolzig in net.
Faceoff will come to the right-hand side of Byron Defoe. Your left as you look on from center ice. It is Rennie with Delcourt and Spenrad. The defense pair, Kutowicz and Jakes. Portland winning the draw. They get it out right side now to Terry Black. Black with the puck along the right wing boards. To Holland. Holland headman left. Goes to Fleetwood. Knocked away by the Americans. Delcourt with it across the blue line to Rennie. Running on the right side. He wheels back along the right boards. Knocked back into neutral ice. Jakes back for it for the Americans. Jakes waits for everybody to clear the zone. Dumps it in. Goes in left. Delcourt chases after it. Delcourt and Rennie. As the puck played around behind the net to Black. Terry Black firing it out. Kutowicz tried to get to it. Couldn't. It'll go back into the Tri-City zone. Oli the goalie there to leave it for Kelly Kutowicz. The young man out of Major, Saskatchewan. Kelly around behind the right of the net. Gets a screen there from Jakes. Feeds it off the boards left. Delcourt will chase it. Defoe signaling icing. Now Defoe has to come out and play it. No icing. Rennie with the puck down to Delcourt. Delcourt starts around behind the Portland net. He's tied up there in the corner left by Moore. Puck comes loose into the corner left. Spenrath races after it. He nails Fleetwood to the boards. Fleetwood goes down, and he'll cover up the puck. Puck frozen in the Portland zone. Faceoff will come in the Portland zone, this time to the left of Byron Defoe. 12:54 to go in the third period. Shift changes all around. Portland and Tri-City. On for the Americans comes Duran Sandwich, along with Rob Kraus. Experience and youth on the blue line. Sandwich and Kraus for the Americans. Now Murray Duval comes on to pair up with Kraus, and Sandwich goes back on. Robertson, Rennie, Robertson, Fry, and Dirksen for the Americans against Clouston on the faceoff. Won by Sean Clouston. Shot up to neutralize the shot. Blocked by Defoe. Wide of the net left. Dirksen chases after along with Robertson. 16-year-old rookie Kevin Robertson along with Devin Dirksen chasing for the puck. Back to neutral ice. Here comes Plouston. He has Anchikowski to the right side in the slot. A shot by Maiden. Blocked by Kolzig and knocked away. Kolzig to Robertson. Robertson back to neutral ice with Dirksen. It goes back into the Portland zone. Back forward is Middlestad. Wheels around behind his net. Leaves it behind right for Mitchell. Mitchell fires it along the boards. Back is Krause. Rob Krause. Draft pick of the Washington Capitals. Shoots it into the Portland zone. Right side it goes now to Mitchell. Mitchell. His pass knocked away and Krause has it. Krause shooting it back to Robertson. Robertson right to Fry. Fry with Lebrun now. Fry a shot blocked by Defoe. Wide of the net left. To Lebrun out in the corner. Lebrun double teamed in the corner left. Now Fry dives in after it as they try to dig it loose and the puck frozen along the boards. That's an interesting line. Fry, Lebrun, and Robertson, Tony.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, a little bit of experience in there. Rob Krause out there as the leader. And speaking of Rob Krause, Jack Button, the director of player personnel and recruiting for Washington, when I was just talking with him, had mentioned about Rob Krause, and he said that Rob Krause is going to be one terrific hockey player. He shouldn't be getting out there trying to score a lot of goals. He's a team leader, and he should stay in that type of formation. He looks like he's trying to do that, get the team all excited, and if there was a team leader on here, it is definitely Rob Krause.
Lebrun on the faceoff for the Americans as Barnes was chased. Barnes, Lebrun, and Kennedy. The line for Portland is Thudium, Gorley, and Jorgensen. Now Kennedy will take the faceoff for the Americans, and he shoots it right toward the Portland net. Defoe there to stop it, leaves it for Biafour. Biafour into the slot, shoots it out to neutral ice. Chasing after it is Gorley. Gorley left of the net. Gorley, great play. As the puck is checked away by the Americans. Shot back toward the Tri-Cities goal. Jakes, headman pass, right side. Here comes Stu Barnes. Barnes checked off the puck, but Jakes is there. And a whistle. Offside on the Americans. What a play by the Americans defenseman on that 2-on-1 breakaway.
That was Dan Stenka, number 5. That is that timing play that is so important to get the timing down. He slid right there in front and stopped that 2-on-1 play all by himself. A terrific play by number 5, Dan Stenka.
We're tied at 1 with 11:32 to go in the hockey game. Portland and Tri-Cities. Rennie on the faceoff, shoots it into the Portland zone. Delcourt races in after it. Delcourt working on Middlestad. Middlestad around behind the net. Middlestad, outlet pass goes left to Gray Eyes. Gray Eyes brings it up face-to-face with Krause. Krause checking him off the puck. Puck dumped in right of the net. Coming out for it are the Americans. Kutowicz tried to get it ahead to Delcourt. Rennie there to pick it up. Here comes Rennie, leaves it for Delcourt. Delly a drive! Around behind the net left to Spenrath along the boards. Gets it down to Rennie. Now Delcourt centers for Rennie. Rennie gets a poke at it, a backhand shot blocked right out in front. Spenrath trying to kick it in. Another shot blocked by Defoe. And now he'll try to cover it up, and they do. Now we have a whistle.
And they're going to call it that he had frozen the puck. And Kirk, I saw that little black piece of rubber bouncing around still down there when referee Wheeler decided to call a face-off.
Well, that's what I thought, too. Jad, do you see it that way?
Yeah, that puck was just bouncing all over the place.
Well, we're not 3 blind mice, are we?
Probably. 10:52 to go in the hockey game. We're tied at 1. Kirk Williamson along with Tony Ott and Jad Meyer. You know, you could be a guest color commentator on a broadcast, a future broadcast. You can register at Chuck E. Cheese's or BB&M Sporting Goods. Face off to the left-hand side of Byron Defoe. Robertson with Fry and Dirksen. Nibs and Jakes, a defense pair. It is Holland on the face-off against Robertson. Holland from Vernon, BC. Robertson from Comox. Now Holland is chased out of there. In comes Fleetwood. Face-off won by Robertson. A drive by Jakes. Goes in right of the net. In after it by Biafour. Shoots it back to neutral ice. Krause with it. Dumps it back to the Portland zone. Defoe comes out. Plays it to the corner. In after it is Fry. Fry gets it. Fry kicks it around behind to Dirksen. Dirksen checked off the puck. Holland with it. Holland out in front of his own net. Holland looking for the pass. Neat pass. But it's broken up. Went to Fleetwood. There's Black with it into the Tri-City zone. Black dumping it back for Holland. Right side they go to Fleetwood now. Into the corner. Holland can't get to it. Robertson taking Holland off the play. Now Robertson comes out with it. It's 3-on-3. Robertson shoots it right for Kraus. Back to touch it for Portland is Flintoff. Shot into neutral ice. And we have a two-line pass, I believe.
I believe that's what's called going to be, Kirk. I've been watching the defense on the Americans and how they are handling it. One thing that you notice, good defense is not just the two guys that are playing defense. It comes from everybody on the team. The three forwards are down inside the Tri-City zone, doing the back checking and playing solid defense tonight, taking their man good. Great defense. I think that all around the Tri-City Americans are the ones that are winning this game.
Not a penalty in this period so far. 10:03 to play. Portland winning the draw. Puck shot back. Lebrun steals it away.
Nice
Lebrun
back.
goes left to Barnes. Barnes and Lebrun. Right side they go to Kennedy. His shot smothered out front. Taken away by Anchikoski. Anchikoski has to play it off his skate. His pass stopped by Kutowicz. Kutowicz shooting back to neutral ice for Kennedy. Kennedy trying to get it to Lebrun. Can't do it. Right side Anchikoski. He gets it to Meiden. Meiden breaks in on Kolzig. Another shot wide of the net. No, Kolzig got a skate on it. Booster's shot blocked by Kolzig. They try to center it. And Jorgensen will chase it back to neutral ice for the Winterhawks. Puck shot in right of the Tri-Cities net now. Duval feeds it out right to Troy Kennedy. Kennedy with LeBrun across the blue line to Barnes in the slot. Barnes out to the right side. Barnes wheels back to the blue line, feeds the pass to Kennedy. Kennedy sweeps it right into the corner. The Americans will dive in after it. Barnes coming back to break up the play. Shift change for Tri-Cities. Here come the Winterhawks. Mitchell across the blue line, offside Portland. As Gray Eyes got in a little ahead of the play.
You know, Kirk, as I mentioned just a few seconds ago, I was talking about how the forwards need to play defense. Center Stu Barnes had Scott Meiden, number 8. Meiden was on him all by himself, heading in towards Olaf Kolzig. And Stu Barnes did a great hook check, stopped Meiden from getting inside there, and that's what it takes. Good play by Stu Barnes.
Face-off just outside the blue line. Won by the Americans. There's Scherstenka. Dan Scherstenka shooting it into the Portland zone, left of the net. Racing after it is Biofor. Chad Biofor. Biofor upended by Delcourt. Scherstenka shooting it back into the Portland zone, left to Flintoff. Flintoff goes right now, Biofor. Biofor tries to get it ahead to Thudium, but the Americans break it up. Now Rennie and Spenrath, and Spenner fires it in around behind the Portland net to the right side. Chasing it after it, all the Americans. Rennie diving it on top of it. Puck goes loose into the corner left. Biofor. Biofor out to neutral ice. Headman pass for Hamish Black. Hamish Black in the slot. Tried to backhand it. He does to Thudium. Thudium shot blocked by Kolzig. And another big save by Oli the goalie.
Great pass from Hamish Black to Thudium.
You bet.
And Thudium was going in on Oli, and Oli played his position just perfect. Now, Oli's the type of goalie that is a flopper type of goalie. It's not so much the angle type goalie that Frank Furlan is. We have two definite, distinct, different style goalies on our team. We're real lucky to have that.
Well, with Furlan, you have the finesse. With Kolzig, the brute force.
Exactly.
Face-off to your right as you look on into the Tri-City zone. To Kolzig's left-hand side in the face-off circle. Won by the Americans. Jake's around behind the Tri-Cities net. Back with it, has it taken away by Moore. Back out front, Moore, a drive. Puck blocked out front, goes right of the net, centered, but Fry's there to knock it away. Fry for the Americans, Fry and Nibs, and a whistle as Malone and Holland tangle. Well, they got all tied up, and Holland was all set to fight Frank Malone.
Well, I tell you what, if he gets entangled with Motown Malone, I really feel sorry for Dennis Holland, because I know how Frank can handle it. And Frank is one heck of a rabbit puncher.
Holland for Portland and Malone for Tri-Cities. Go have a little sit down here. First penalty of the period comes at the 12:01 mark.
Very good, clean hockey game. Exciting, too.
We'll get the call for it in a second. I think we're going to get roughing is all.
Here are your penalties. First for the Portland Winterhawks, it's number 15, Dennis Holland, 2 minutes for holding. For your Tri-City Americans, number 16, Frank Malone, 2 minutes for roughing. Time of the penalty is 12:01.
And the face-off won by the Americans. Back to Jakes. Jakes tries to get it to Nibs. Can't. Shot back into the Tri-City zone by Portland. Back is Kutowicz. Shoots it ahead now to Barnes. Barnes checked off the puck hard. Goes in right of the net. Kolzig there. Leaves it behind for Jakes. Jakes shoots it out the right side. Headman pass to Barnes from Fry. Shot back to Fry. At the Portland blue line now, Jakes with it. Jakes bangs it off the boards. Back to the Portland Tri-Cities blue line. There's Fry. Back to Jakes. Jakes to Cutterwitz left. Cutter firing it in right of the net. These two teams meet again in Portland on January 25th. Barnes has it behind the net. Tried to get it to Nibbs. Nibbs couldn't quite get back out to it. Shot the length of the ice. It's on goal. Kolzig will come out and play it to Cutterwitz. Cutterwitz shoots it ahead to Barnes. Barnes across the blue line. Dumps it to Nibbs. Nibbs a drive. Great play by Middlestat to kick it loose. Puck goes in behind the Portland net. Back out into the neutral ice areas. Barnes goes down. Right it goes to Anchikoski across the blue line. His pass covered up by Jake. Taken away by Barnes. Here come the Americans. 4-on-3. Barnes up the right side. Barnes gets around the defender. Barnes with the puck in the right corner. Barnes needs a little help from Jake. Jake slapping it down low to Delcourt. Delcourt with it. Right of the net. He's tied up by Meiden. Meiden getting it out to Klustin. Now it comes out to Anchikoski. 6:26 to go. 1-1 tie. Kraus firing it back into the Portland zone. Rennie dives in after it. Pass right goes to Mitchell. Mitchell back to neutral ice. Now the Winterhawks have it. Meiden with it across the Tri-City blue line. And taken out of the play by Kraus. Meiden taking it down behind the net. Oh, Kraus just hammered Meiden into the boards. Delcourt back to neutral ice. Stopped by Biafor. Fired in wide of the net right. Tell you what, Kraus took him into the boards and let him drip onto the ice.
Intimidation.
Here comes Duval. Murray Duval brings it up for the Americans. They wheel through the zone. Duval's pass left away by Portland. Here come the Winterhawks. Right side, Hamish Black. Hamish Black puts the move on. Beats Kraus. Kraus has to stick check it away. Good move by Kraus. And it comes out now to Delcourt. Delcourt goes left. We have a fight. No, we don't either. Lebrun and Hamish Black. And the referee blew the whistle and broke it up. He may have broken up a good breakaway.
And he's going to send both of them to the box, it looks like, for a couple of minutes to cool things off. As both penalties expired on Dennis Holland and Frank Malone, there's two more visitors to the penalty box, Sean Lebrun and Hamish Black.
And that one will come at the 14:25 mark. That's the only penalties we've seen in this period. A couple of coincidental penalties. Holding and roughing on Holland and Malone.
It's number 12, Hamish Black, 2 minutes for roughing. For your Tri-City Americans, number 18, Sean Lebrun, also 2 minutes for roughing at 14:25.
Faceoff comes just out the Tri-Cities blue line. Barnes on the faceoff against Holland. Puck's down. That one bouncing around a lot as it comes out to Kennedy. Kennedy shoots it across ice left. Back for Portland is Jorgensen. Jorgensen shoots it in right of the Tri-Cities net. Round behind the net they go. Oh, puck loose right in the slot. Kolzig kicking it away twice. Now it's loose again, and Barnes back behind the net to get it. Ooh, that was a little scary. Barnes firing it back to neutral ice in the air. Kennedy couldn't quite get to it. Left to Jorgensen. Into the Tri-City zone, but Jake's there to stop it. Fires it off the glass. To Moore. In around behind the net. Kolzig leaving it there for Jakes. Jakes to Kennedy. Try to get it ahead now to Dirksen. And the puck shot back out to the Portland Tri-Cities blue line. Oh, boy, did they ever bury Kolzig and Dirksen there to dump a Portland player. The only trouble is that Dirksen didn't hit him hard enough or often enough. Dennis Holland crashed in on Kolzig. Now Kolzig comes over and says, hey, you want to do that? We'll just mix it up right here. And now Dirksen over to escort Kolzig out of the way. Holland has been just crazy. Frank, he's been shut out so far in this game. And Holland is absolutely gone nuts.
Oh, I tell you what, Devin Dirksen, though, is right down there to make sure he protected his goalie, Olaf Kolzig, and that's exactly what you are supposed to do.
So where's the penalty?
And they're not going to call it.
Crashing into Kolzig.
And referee Wheeler down here is just sitting there shaking his head to everybody coming by asking. There's Frank Malone asking Wheeler.
I believe I'd have a question for him, too. What do you do for Brain? Now Malone yapping at one of the linesmen. Now he's right in Wheeler's face.
I think that they should be talking about what the heck happened to Oli there. Holy
yeah, you
cow.
bet they should. Face off to Kolzig's right-hand side. Clouston against Malone. Puck's down. They scramble for it. The Americans dig it loose. Here's Fry. Fry dropping it back. He'll have to go back to get it.
Penalty coming up.
Loose by Portland. Penalty coming up. Tri-Cities with the puck, and it's against the Americans.
Now, this is...
Slashing. That is a cheap penalty.
You know, I think what has happened there was not a penalty called. What happened, there was a lot of extra talking going on to referee Wheeler as they were getting ready for that face-off. And referee Wheeler is going to try to control this game by making it a penalty. And to be perfectly frank with you on this, Kirk, I think it stinks. I personally don't like that call.
Well, I think that was a real cheap call at best. It'll be the power play for the Winterhawks. We've seen Wheeler before, and that's about what we've seen from him before, too. So Winterhawks get their 7th power play of the night.
That's just a make-good penalty. That's all that was.
Yep, at best. 4:31 to play. Penalty against Sherstenka. Jake fires it along the ice, and Jake's upends Holland. I think they'd like to see Holland go off the ice for a while.
Yeah.
Right side to Mitchell. Like to see Holland go get on the bus. Mitchell shooting it into the Tri-City zone. Kolzig there to stop it. Leaves it for Jakes. Jakes ripping it around the boards. Comes out to the point left to Biafor. Chad Biafor with the puck at the left point. Right side he goes to Mitchell. Mitchell shot. Deflected by Jakes. Almost on Kolzig. Holland shot. Blocked by Kolzig. And now knocked away by Jake. Jake fires it back into neutral ice. Oh my, Kolzig coming up very big. Shift change, Tri-City. Here come the Winterhawks. Bringing it up slowly. Roy Mitchell. Mitchell leaving it behind for Biafor. Biafor across the blue line. Looks for Holland. Holland drop back pass. Leaves it for Mitchell. Mitchell fires it in behind the net. Right side they go to Holland. In the slot. Delcourt's there to break it up. And he fires it down the ice. A minute remaining in the penalty. Nibbs racing in on the goalie. Defoe now stolen by Delcourt. Delcourt and Nibbs. The shot blocked by Defoe. He takes that Delcourt wrist shot right in the middle and covers it up.
I'll tell you what, that's excellent because what Delcourt and Nibbs did right there by going down and challenging that puck, it made Defoe cover up the puck, and there will be a face-off over in the Portland zone, and that's great play by the Americans. That keeps the puck down at this end of the ice to our left side. If you were looking from the Defoe's side, it would be off to his left side where they'll be facing it off.
In the face-off circle, the right face-off circle. For Tri-Cities, Delcourt, Nibbs, Kutowicz, and Jake. For Portland, Clouston, Jorgensen, and Maiden. Face-off controlled by Portland Moore. Out from behind his own net. Feeds the pass right to Jorgensen. Here comes Len Jorgensen. Feeds the pass left. Or Kevin Jorgensen, rather. Puck goes into the right corner. Delcourt slapping at it. Puck's in the air. Knocked down by Delcourt. Portland with it in the slot. Maiden. Out to knock him down is Kutowicz. And Delcourt getting the puck away from Moore. Puck in the left corner. Nibbs shoots it out to the blue line. Portland. A shot smothered out front by Calvin Nibbs. Kutowicz firing at the length of the ice into the Portland zone. 13 seconds remaining in the penalty to Dan Sherstenka. Puck shot up to neutral ice. Clouston with it. Here comes Sean Clouston. 2:37 to play. Goes in right of the Tri-Cities net. 1 second. Penalty's over. Back to full strength of the Americans. Sherstenka racing to get off the ice. On the ice comes Lebrun. Puck shot in left of the Tri-Cities net. Kennedy there. Kennedy wheeling around in his own zone. Headman pass. Oh, they almost have Lebrun on a clean breakaway. Lebrun chopping at Defoe's stick as the puck goes out to the boards. Kennedy with it. Saving it. Right of the net. To Barnes. Barnes double checked away. Puck comes out to the point. Duval a drive. Knocked down left of the net. Comes off the boards. Lebrun. Lebrun underneath for Barnes. Puck goes in the air. Barnes has it. Barnes and Kennedy. Barnes drops back to Krause. Krause starts in. Shoots. It's smothered up front by Middlestead. And Barnes there to take it away. Barnes in the slot. Kennedy shoots. Blocked by Defoe. Back up front. Krause knocking it loose. But it comes out to Clouston. Clouston one-on-one. Clouston checked off the puck. Barnes there to take it back for the Americans. Minute 34. Headman pass for Lebrun. Racing back for it. We're going to have an icing call when it's touched by Viafor. No! It was washed out. And Portland has it. Viafor behind his own net. Feeds it out along the left boards. Barnes there to whack at it. Hamish Black with the puck. Down low to Viafor behind the net. Feeds it out left now to Hamish Black. Jamie Hamish Black plays it off the back of the net. Back to Viafor left side. Brings it ahead now. Headman pass goes left to Gray Eyes. Right to Hamish Black. Hamish Black broken up by Jake. 1 minute to play. Finrath right to Rennie. Rennie one-on-one. Rennie slides it over to Finrath. He can't get to it. Finrath in the corner down low to Rennie. Rennie looking for Fry. Can't find him. Puck loose right of the net. Shot out now comes to Jakes at the board. Jake's shot kicked away by Defoe. Portland with it. Viafor fires it into the Tri-City zone, or Hamish Black rather. And it'll be icing when Jakes gets to it. Oh my. We'll bring it back to the Portland zone and face it off right beside Hamish Black. Tony, this is exactly like the first game in Portland. 33 seconds on the clock. Actually, in that case, there were 43. Icing call, but this time against Portland. That time against Tri-City. Face-off will come at the left face-off circle, right where it did before. The last time in that first game against Portland, Portland won the draw 3 times. And 3 times there were shots. The third one went in.
Tonight's end is 59-55. Congratulations, Kirk.
What did I say, 6,000?
Yes.
Face-off, won by Rennie. Delcourt with it along the boards. 29 seconds to play. Taken away from him by Portland. In left of the net. Rennie chasing in with Mitchell. Mitchell shoots it out to the point. Jake steals it. Jake to the blue line. Shovels it down low. Delcourt losing it, but Rennie Nibbs saves it. Calvin Nibbs. Nibbs a drive. Wide of the net. Blocked out front. Jakes with it. 10 seconds. Jakes the shot. Deflected out front. Delcourt's knocked down. Double team from behind. Portland gets it out to Maiden. 4 seconds. 3. Terry Black. Time runs out. At the end of the hockey game, we're tied at 1. We're going to be working overtime.
Oh, my. I tell you, this is unbelievable. This makes the 4th consecutive overtime against the same team, Kirk.
And we'll be back in 2 minutes with the top score tied at 1. Going to overtime, back in 2 on this Tri-Cities Radio American hockey broadcast. We're tied at 1 at the end of regulations. That's the 4th consecutive overtime game against the Portland Winterhawks. In the first game back on December 10th, a 6-6 tie. Second game, December 30th, 7-6 Portland in overtime here. January 4th, 9-8 Portland in overtime at Portland. Right now we're tied at 1. John Olver won a low-scoring game. Gentlemen, I think he got it.
And I believe he got it. Shots on goal in that period. There were 13 for Tri-City. Portland had 7. Final 3-period total, 35 for the Americans. Portland has 33. And Portland leads in this overtime battle. They lead 2 games, 0, 2, 0, and 1. The Americans have not won any of the overtime games, but I'll tell you right now, the way I see the Americans, they are stoked. They are ready for this one.
Well, they got this crowd on its feet, and they're ready to roll. Barnes, Lebrun, and Kennedy. Lebrun on the left wing, Kennedy on the right with Barnes. Left defense, Sherstenka. Right is Jake.
They're on their feet.
For Portland, Leiden with Anchikovsky and Clouston. Barnes winning the draw. Right to Jake. Jake goes left to Barnes across the blue line to Lebrun. Lebrun left of the net in the Portland zone. Puck knocked away by Anchikovsky. He brings it up. Anchikovsky starts to make a drive. Covered by Jake. Ahead to Barnes from Lebrun in the slot left. Taken away by Mitchell. And a whistle.
And we have an offside. When Stu was trying to get that pass in, past the blue line, he had turned around and got himself all turned around. His body was in before the puck. They'll bring it outside the Portland zone for a face-off.
Chad Meyer, you can just feel the excitement in here.
That's right. All these fans here in the Coliseum are standing up and real excited.
Face-off just outside the Portland blue line. Barnes again against Maiden. Barnes wants to draw it back to Jake. This time, Maiden ties him up. And the puck goes right along the Portland blue line. Lebrun chopping it into Barnes. They get it in along the boards now, along the left wing boards. Now Portland's knocking it away. Big hit on him by Kennedy. But Portland with the puck. Headman pass to Clouston. He fires it in right of the net. They try to center it. Kolzig slaps it away. A shot. Kolzig puts it behind the net. Out to Barnes. Here comes Barnes. Right back up to the point. Knocked back in by Portland's Mitchell. And back to Lebrun. Lebrun around behind the Tri-Cities net. Here comes Lebrun. Lebrun on the rush. Lebrun across the blue line. Drops it back for Barnes, and we have an offside.
Just a little extra passing right there when looks like Troy Kennedy was in just a little bit ahead of Sean Lebrun, as also Stu Barnes. You know, Kirk, this is the first of 4 home games here on a 4-game homestand.
That's right.
We've got Portland tonight, Seattle tomorrow night. On the 18th, which is next Wednesday, Victoria comes in. And on next Friday, the first appearance by the Spokane Chiefs.
9:02 remaining in overtime. Sudden victory overtime. Line change for both teams. Holland, Black, and Fleetwood for Portland. Rennie, Svenrath, and Delcourt for the Americans. Face-off won by Rennie. Fired into the Portland zone. Flintoff has it for the Winterhawks. Goes right to Biafor. Chad Biafor. Headman pass right side for Terry Black, and he's offside.
Brent Fleetwood.
Kelly Kutowitz will be our penalty box guest tonight. Go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry.
Brent Fleetwood was in ahead of the play on that as Biafor was trying to get it in.
And it will be Steve Rennie, the Roon Dog, facing off against Dennis Holland. Rennie from Surrey, BC. Holland from Vernon. Rennie winning the draw. No, Holland kicks it loose. But Rennie skates back to get it. Swept across the blue line. Rennie with it to Kutowitz. Kutowitz across the blue line. He brings it up the left board. Dumping it in left of the Portland goal. Racing it after it is Flintoff for the Winterhawks. Svenrath puts a big hit on him. Puck comes loose. Back to the blue line. Kutowitz trying to keep it in play. He can't. Now Black chases it across the blue line into the Tri-City zone. Rennie puts a hit on him. Kutowitz there to reject it for the Americans. Back out to Jorgensen. Jorgensen firing in right of the net. Kutowitz with it for the Americans. Kelly Kutowitz shoots it back to neutral ice. Knocked down by Gray Eyes. Portland with it. Now Krause for the Americans. Krause across the blue line. Drop pass for Frank Malone. Stolen away. Here comes Portland. Thudium. Thudium loses it to Jake. Jake fires it back along the boards into the Portland zone. Backboard is Jorgensen. Face off left side. Moore. Right. Back to Jorgensen. Jorgensen losing it in neutral ice. Right side. Oh, a big hook by Duval on Hamish Black. And it's shot out of play. I've seen Shepherd's crooks with less of a hook than that one. Good night.
And you know what? That's one thing about it, too. The referee just doesn't really like to call penalties, but he's getting into something right here. I'm not sure exactly what he's going to be talking with the score people down below us, but referee Wheeler over there to make a comment, and it looks like no penalty, but you're exactly right there.
Well, they're on the phone to the control room. I think telling them no more music during the play.
Right.
Face-off in neutral ice. Won by Barnes. Sherstenka from Jakes. Left in the corner. Lebrun races after it. Shot back along the boards. Barnes tries to get to it. Can't. Back to neutral ice. Chasing it is Jakes. Clouston races after him, but is upended by Kennedy. Now Jakes firing it off the boards. Back to neutral ice. Tri-Cities trying to steal it in neutral ice. They can't. Portland dumping it into the Tri-Cities zone. Back is Sherstenka. Fires it off the glass. Stopped there by Portland. Winterhawks with it. Clouston leaves it for Maiden. Maiden fires it right off of Mitchell's backside. Puck loose in center ice. Lebrun behind the back pass. Fired back into the Tri-City zone. Kolzig will leave it there for Jakes. Boy, this has been kind of a rat scramble tonight. Portland with a new line on as the puck goes behind the Portland net. Barnes, big hit on Flintoff. Barnes tries to wrap it around. Couldn't do it. Goes out to Kennedy. Back to neutral ice. Krause with it for the Americans. Krause will sky it back into the Portland zone. It's short hops. Goalie Defoe left of the net. Defoe leaving it for Biafor. Biafor brings it up. New line for the Americans. Puck shot in left and an offside. 6:28 to go. In overtime, we're tied at 1 in the Tri-Cities Coliseum. Both teams scoring in the first period. Kennedy from Lebrun and Barnes at 8:09. Black from Mitchell and Moore at 14:23. And you see out there tonight a very frustrated Dennis Holland.
That's very true. You know, these two teams are going to sport 8 players on the Western Division All-Star team, and that just tells you the type of hockey these two teams play.
6:28 to go in the overtime period. Malone with Nibs and Fry. Face off against Hamish Black with Gray Eyes and Thudium. Hamish Black winning the draw. Moore shooting it in right of the Tri-Cities net. Kolzig to leave it behind for Kraus. Kraus behind the net, gets it out right side to Fry. Fry, head man for Malone. Puck goes by Malone. Defoe comes out, but Nibs there to knock it down. Defoe way out of the crease, but it'll go back into neutral ice for Fry. Fry with it, tried to chop it loose. Fry drops his stick. Puck shot into the Tri-City zone, but Cudowitz there. Shoots at the length of the ice. Racing in on Defoe is Fry, and Defoe will come way out and dive on the puck.
Well, I tell you what, the Americans are just doing some excellent checking, and it's a good thing that Defoe came out and covered that up, because number 8, Rick Fry, was just on his way, looking like he had goal written all over his face.
Why, it'd be nice to see Fry get one, too, wouldn't it?
He kind of grimaced a little bit when he covered it up. He said, come on, let me have that puck.
Fry has 2 goals so far on the season, 7 assists.
But he does a lot more than goal scoring.
You bet he does. Americans won, Portland won, 5:58 to go in overtime. Winterhawks win the draw in their own zone. Goes out right side now to Flintoff. Flintoff, headman right to Black. Black shoots a pass left for Fleetwood. Fleetwood overskates it. Jake's back for it. Jake's along the boards left. Now Moore shoots. Kolzig on the save. And it's shot along the right boards now. Back out to Meiden. Meiden shot blocked by Kolzig. Puck comes out to the right boards. Headman pass goes to Rennie. Rennie, one-on-one breakaway. Rennie in the slot. Rennie, and there's a penalty. A penalty coming up as Rennie is hooked from behind. Well, it'll be holding, but whatever it takes.
And this is what the Americans wanted to see, a power play opportunity with 5:26 left in this hockey game. And there will be a face-off to the right face-off circle or to the left-hand side of Brian Defoe.
Penalty against Portland. Sitting down for the Winterhawks is number 11.
Portland penalty to number 11, Chad Biofor. 2 minutes for holding at 4:34.
And the American crowd coming to its feet. 5:26 remaining in overtime. Kirk Williamson along with Tony Ott and Jad Meyer. It'll be Clouston against Barnes. The Americans on the power play. Barnes winning the draw. Shot by Nibs. Right side blocked out front. Kennedy with it. Kennedy back up to the point now to Jake. Jake feeds left. Barnes. Barnes in the slot. Nibs back up front to Lebrun. Lebrun a big drive. Just blocked by Defoe. Comes out to the right boards. Nibs shoots it back to Jakes. Jakes goes left to Lebrun. Lebrun along the blue line. His pass knocked away by Clouston. Clouston turns around. Shoots a pass into the Tri-City zone, but Kolzig is there. Kolzig plays it off the glass, back to neutral ice. Knocked away by Mitchell. Mitchell walking in on Kolzig, but it's blocked off LeBrun's skate. Behind the net goes Calvin Nibs. Nibs outlet pass goes to Barnes. Barnes across the blue line. 3-on-3, Barnes with Nibs and Kennedy. Barnes out to the wing, back up front now to Sean Lebrun. Lebrun losing it at the point. Lebrun wheeling back into the neutral ice area. Lebrun up the right side. Sean Lebrun takes it all the way in. Lebrun scores! And Barnes just about took Lebrun apart half on the ice. You hear the reaction. It comes at 5:35. Sean Lebrun as the Americans mob the Brunner, and they finally beat Portland. The Americans beating the Winterhawks in overtime. And Olaf Kolzig getting a great round of applause from his teammates tonight. What a score by Lebrun, and Lebrun's going to go back and get the puck, and well he should.
You betcha.
And Lebrun puts it into the crowd.
What? Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Classy move by Sean Lebrun. A power play goal at 5:25. Barnes and Nibs getting the assist. Well, that wraps it up for our game broadcast. Stay tuned for the post-game show. The Tri-City Americans beating Portland 2-1 in overtime. Stay tuned for our post-game show on this Tri-Cities Radio Americans hockey broadcast.
And do my best, and my best is what I did.
Well, you sure did. You looked really good, really solid tonight. Made some big saves.
I got nobody to thank but Jimmy Craig. He hasn't done enough for me. He hours of therapy each day, out in the ice before everybody else twice a day. I can't say enough about the guy.
Turn around. Let's look at that. Show that little shot on your neck to the camera. They don't really talk about neck saves much in goalie school.
No, usually a goalie wears a neck protector, and I'm one of those stubborn guys that you know, just wants to be free. He caught me with a high shot. You know, he probably figured I was going to go down, and he just wanted to scare me a little. The shot did hurt a lot, but you know, we had the flow of the game, and I didn't want to slow anything down, so you know, it hurt. I just bit my tongue and went at it. You shook it off, got back up, and it really seemed to get your teammates pumped up. You got a lot of help from the defense tonight. Oh, in front of the net, too. Best defensive game I've seen this year. I can't say enough about the defense and the penalty killing today. It's just incredible. We shut Holland down. We shut the whole team down. Holland was a very frustrated young man by the time the game was over. Yeah, he was. It's the first time we've ever really shut him down that much. You know, I think if Defoe wouldn't have played so well, we probably would have blown him out. Olaf Kolzig, the winning goalie tonight. Congratulations, Oli, on a great job. Thanks, Kirk. And we'll be back to talk with Troy Kennedy in 1 minute on this Tri-Cities Radio Americans hockey broadcast. A very happy new Tri-City American, Troy Kennedy. Troy, you got the opening goal of the game for the Americans. That had to make you feel pretty good.
Yeah, it did. You know, the two guys I'm playing with are really good. They had a good, strong game tonight and set me up for quite a few more. But I think that, you know, the first goal always gets you rolling, and I wish I could have got a few more, but hopefully they'll come tomorrow and the rest of the games.
Tell us about that one. You, everybody was kind of batting at that right in front of Defoe.
Which one was that? The goal?
Tell about your goal, yeah.
Oh, it went back to Lebrun behind the net, and he just flipped it out in front. And I got it and shot it, and it went off his shoulder and in the top corner. So
that was a pretty goal, the kind you like to see.
It's good to get, too.
I bet it was. The rest of this game, pretty much a defensive struggle. That calls for a whole different kind of approach to the game on the part of guys like you that are normally goal scorers. You had to worry a lot about defense tonight.
Yeah, you know, before the game we had a lot of talk about shutting down Dennis Holland, and I think our defense and the guys that played against him did a good job of that. But offense always comes after defense. If you can have a good strong defensive club, the offense will come. You know, 'cause when you get the puck out of your own end, you're going to be playing more on the other end anyway, and scoring a lot more goals.
What did you do to Holland particularly to shut him down?
Well, I think Troy Mick wasn't playing tonight, so that kind of hurt him. Yeah, that hurt him a little bit. But I think we put a guy on him in our end. Once the third guy high always picked him up and held on to him in our end. So if he can't get the puck, he's not going to be able to score or set other guys up.
Well, I noticed that as the game wore on, you saw Dennis Holland doing a little more slashing and a little more holding and a little more shoving people around, and that really was a sign that he was beginning to get very frustrated.
Yeah, that happens to guys when they're you know, top in the scoring, and little guys like that, they get frustrated when they can't get a few points and stuff. It happened with Theron Fleury last year, and if you keep on a guy and, you know, he can't do anything, they do get frustrated and start slashing and stuff, and the referee missed quite a few of them that he did slash. And, you know, I think that next game he'll be coming into the game straight frustrated, and that should help us quite a bit.
Troy Kennedy, the Tri-City Americans' new right winger, gets the first goal of the game tonight for the Americans. Plays a good, solid game. Troy, good to have you with us, and thanks for coming up.
Thanks a lot.
2-1 in overtime. We'll be back on this Tri-Cities Radio Americans hockey broadcast. Tri-City Americans coach John Olver, a beaming John Olver, I might add, who comes up with a tremendous victory tonight. The Americans winning in overtime over Portland. John.
Well, it's our turn. We've had enough games against this team and been leading late in the game and let them tie it up and throwing it away in overtime. So it was bound to happen sooner or later. It was our turn.
The Tri-City Americans doing a great job defensively. You said before the game you wanted a low-scoring game, and you got it.
Yes, we did. We wanted to concentrate on defense, but actually I wouldn't say the game tonight was as defensive as the score might suggest. There was some outstanding goaltending. Both Kolzig and young Defoe was just outstanding. The game should have been 6-5 or 5-4, but that was classic goaltending tonight.
When Oli took that shot in the neck, everybody wondered a little bit as to whether he was going to be able to get back up. That was a tremendous hard shot, but to his credit, he got right back up and shook it off and stayed right in there solid.
I had no doubt he'd get back in there. He took a shot. It just stuns him a little bit. Not only that, but I think it was during a power play or they had some pressure, and I think he just needed a little rest.
Okay. John, a great game tonight against the Portland Winterhawks. Tomorrow night, here in Tri-Cities, the Seattle Thunderbirds, a team the Americans haven't seen for a while, but an important victory as the Americans start looking for that playoff spot.
That's right. Every single game now is a crucial one. This division's really tightening up. Kamloops bombed Victoria tonight, and after 2 periods, I know that Spokane's beating Seattle, so there's 6-8 points separating 3rd spot from 6th spot, and every single game is just a crucial game for us, and we've lost enough close ones here in the last 2 weeks to do us the rest of the year. We've got to bear down, and we've got to win every hockey game, especially against Seattle, Spokane, and Kamloops. Every one of those games is a 4-point game, and tomorrow night is a very big game. Seattle has not been playing well of late, and I know that they're going to come out here looking for a victory. We've beat them here the previous 2 times.
John, good luck to you and the Americans tomorrow night. Thanks for joining us on our post-game show.
Thanks, Kirk. My pleasure.
Again, the final score, the Tri-City Americans 2, the Portland Winterhawks 1. That'll wrap it up from the Tri-Cities Coliseum. I'm Kirk Williamson. Good night.